Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
Your weekly dose of romance and drama has arrived. Season 29 of The Bachelor is here, and Grant Ellis, certified hottie and former day trader, is trading his day job on Wall Street for a second chance at everlasting love. New episodes drop every Monday at 8/7 Central, bringing you fresh twists in Grant's journey to find his soulmate. This self-proclaimed mama's boy is all grown up and ready to invest his heart. Will his playful charm win over the house full of hopefuls, or will the competition prove too intense? From heartfelt moments to adrenaline-pumping dates, each week brings new surprises in the mansion. Will Grant find his perfect match or end up with a broken heart? Tune in every Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu for new episodes of The Bachelor.
Everybody, and welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmie. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another crazy, speedy, wild, around turns edition of Crime and Sports. Yeah, we got an Aussie today, which is fun.
Oh, boy.
We love the Australians when we do Australian episodes because the Australian people are like, yes, they feel heard. They're all the way down there. You know, they're out of the way.
Seen. Yeah.
Geographically, they're just way out of the way. So they're like, we're down here, everybody. Look. So
we don't forget about you guys.
We don't forget
about you all the time.
And then everybody else likes an Aussie episode because they're always insane. And
they're all nuts.
They're all nuts. This is actually a pretty mild-mannered Aussie. And a very bad guy. Well, from a very famous family also. We'll talk about quickly before we get to that, though. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com is where you get everything.
There?
All sorts of stuff. Merch, tickets to Small Town Murder live shows, you name it. All information and links and everything It's all there. That's where you go. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Also, you definitely want to get Patreon. If you like the show, you like all the shows. I know we make like 19 shows, but if that's not enough info and enough content, we have more for you. Patreon.com/crimeinsports gets you everything. Anybody $5 a month or above, a mere cup of coffee.
Right.
We have a much better value for you than a cup of coffee because you're going to get hundreds of back bonus episodes immediately, and then you're going to get new ones every other week. One Crime and Sports and one Small Town Murder. And guess what?
Yeah.
You get it all of it. Every last drop of that.
Try getting that satisfaction from a caramel latte.
You're not getting that. A solitary caramel latte. It might not even be good. You go, this one's weird and watery, and that's it. You could have had Patreon. What's wrong with you?
They did the pumps instead of the sludge.
Ugh, gross. This week, what you have for Crime and Sports, this has nothing to do with sports, but it's going to be one of the craziest things we've ever done. Well, last time we did the cheating scandals, that was very sports. This is no sports. This is industrial disasters.
Industrial ones.
Yeah. Want to hear about a whole boardroom getting liquefied by molten steel in the course of a half a second? Because we're going to talk about it. It happens. All sorts of weird industrial disasters were horrible.
I saw a video of a park disaster just recently.
Yeah.
A boy lost his goddamn leg.
Oh no, this is
I can't wait.
So many people are. This is like 40 people instantly incinerated. That kind of shit. Yeah. Then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about a very weird thing here. We're going to talk about the cannibal cop. Do you remember this story?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
where he wrote all these. No, he didn't actually do anything, but it seemed like he was getting ready to.
Yeah.
We'll get into it and find out exactly what the hell happened there, because it's one of those where people go, "What happened with that? That sounds."
What did he do?
Yeah, we'll talk all about it. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all of that and more, and you get a shout out at the end of the show too.
Hell yeah.
That said, let's dive in.
Here we go.
Let's do it. Let's strap ourselves in, put our helmets on, and pedal to the metal for a race guy here. He's a racer, car racer.
What kind?
We did motorcycles. Well, a few different things.
Open wheel? Come on.
Yeah, it's Indy later on. It's European type shit. But it's Gary Thomas Brabham, Brabham, Brabham. Brabham here. He is an Australian man, and he comes from a very famous racing family.
I'm on board. I'm listening.
His father's his father is Sir Jack Brabham. So we're talking. His dad is like the god of Australian racing. Like he's he's like Mr. fucking race over there. So from what I understand, very respected. I guess he's born in England, but he's in Australia for most of the time here. He is born March 29th, 1961 in Wimbledon, England.
Really?
So, yeah, nasty backhand on him.
Tennis tournament,
Yeah, there he is. His dad, like I said, Sir Jack, he's got brothers that are also racers. Jeff, David, Matthew is another one. He's a nephew, and then Sam, another nephew. So this is whole family's racing.
Long lineage of race family is bound to give you a real dirtbag.
It's good. And the thing is, they're like very wealthy, very upstanding. And later on, he'll be on the Australian Today show. So, it's in the morning. Let's talk to him before his first Indy race, because it's like, he's the son of this racing family, and now he's going to step up to this next thing. And they talk to him, and at the end, it's over, and they're like, all right, have a good one. And the video goes away, and the female host goes, what a nice guy. I swear to God. What a nice guy. It's so
those
fucking
will
funny.
haunt you, sugar.
It's not good. Yeah, 20 years later, she looked like a real dummy. Real fucking dummy.
It's fascinating how that racing is like gentlemen's racing, because in America we have drag racing and NASCAR. Those are the ones that people watch the most.
Things that were done to aid in abet moonshining, things of that.
To get away. And then eventually it turned into Top Fuel dragsters and shit like that. It's go as fast as you can for very little time and see who wins that. The
Indy's a little different. The open wheel.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. It's not near as popular as the other shit, though.
But in the rest of the world, it's 20 times more popular. It's like
their
soccer. It's their soccer. Yeah, it's the rest of the world. That's what they watch. And it's kind of interesting to watch those street races in Europe where they have these crazy Indy cars that are
running it through the fucking street.
And they're on the street, going around a turn where you'd be like, hey, there's always traffic here in the morning every day on the way to work. And they're just zipping through it.
Yeah, people watching it going, I got a DUI right there.
Yeah, look at that. That's where my cousin got hit on a bicycle by a drunk guy, right there. That's where Jimmie Whisman ran him over with a truck after he had a couple too many. So anyway, he's in all sorts of different racing. He tries to work his way up to IndyCar, which doesn't really work out for him, as we'll talk about. But yeah, Formula One, he starts, I guess, for a while. That's where he has 2 entries in Formula One. Okay. His father is a 3-time world Formula One champion.
Wow.
Sir Jack there. Yeah. He's a badass guy. He competed at Indy in the early 60s. Brabham started the rear engine revolution that altered the racing. Yeah, that altered racing.
Everything was front engine before that.
Yep, he was a big proponent of the rear.
How about that?
Yep, and he's been really good. The father was, he's a legend in Australia over there.
Yeah, in the 60s, I can see it too. The Hot Wheels cars had the engine in the front, the open wheel. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then I guess he said, no, from the back. What are we doing? From the back, you rear. Fucking idiots. Yeah.
Put it in the...
Come on, put it in its ass. Let's go.
We do it reverse in Australia.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, we're down under, remember? So his mother is Betty Evelyn Beresford. Yeah. And she's apparently, she allowed old Sir Jack to do whatever he wanted in his racing. And her job was, raise the boys, 3 boys, and, all that kind of thing. So he was, I guess he was also to, fuck around outside marriage a little bit here, Sir Jack. He's Sir Jack. Come on. I mean, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah.
I'm Sir Jack. I'm a successful racer. He likes to fly by the seat of his ass. These guys like risk.
Yeah, but you get knighted and you're supposed to not get knighted pussy? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'll knight you. This is how I knight you. One penis on each shoulder. Bang, bang, bang in the forehead. There you go. That's how you do, yeah. That's how it works. So I don't know what you expect from this guy. And these guys, like I said, they like living on the edge.
Sure.
So, a lot of times maybe a guy doesn't cheat because he's like, I don't want to get caught. This guy's not afraid of shit like that. He's like, I like the risk. It's even more.
I defy death every day.
Yeah, I'm going to fuck her in the living room while my wife sleeps, like something like that. Yeah, that'll be risky enough for me.
Like those pornos where the guy gets a blowjob from the other side of the
other side. The other side of the bed. Yeah. That's the funniest. Like, what the hell is that? I remember that. Is he like, why?
The guy cheats on sleeping wife?
Yeah.
Jesus
the fucking bed is like rocking and she's like hands under her face, sleeping.
Like it's a water bed.
Bops up and down. You're like, yeah, that seems natural.
Sure, she wouldn't wake up at all.
And she wakes up and stretches and she's like, oh, nice. Let me join you. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Very realistic.
Yeah.
So Jack's second marriage, because the first marriage.
Because that one's not going to work out.
He cheats on her.
Yeah.
Cheats on her a ton. And she's like, listen, I'll stay home with the kids, but you're not going to just fuck around on me.
Yeah.
So that was over by 1994. And Jack ended up marrying his secretary, Margaret, in 1995.
He looked far and wide.
Far and wide. And it was right after he got divorced. So this tells me.
I got a feeling she was the one. Yeah.
He was banging his secretary for a long time, and his wife found out, and then he just married his secretary. Because that's, she said.
This woman out of her.
She said, if you ever leave, you told me, once you leave your wife, you're going to marry me. So here we are. Let's do it. I guess. She, the boys loved their mother, though, and were kind of pissed off about all this. But they were adults by then. So he's the middle child here, Gary. Yeah. His brother is Jeff. That's his older brother. And David are his younger brothers. They're both successful race drivers as well.
Great.
And he'll have a couple of wives, too, Gary, here. First up, Wendy, and then Rosina later on. So at first, he didn't want to follow in his father's footsteps.
No?
No. At first, he thought he was going to be a farmer in rural New South Wales, Australia. That was the spot.
Yeah.
So then he said, no, I want to. He started getting into cars and all that sort of thing. He actually said at one point, I saw in an interview with him where he said, like, it would cost so much money to do this, to race and to raise all this money that, he just thought he'd just be a driving instructor instead. He thought, at least I can get a job because I'm not going to be able to do this.
You go to the Brabham School of Driving, it's going to be successful.
That's the thing. And I think that's what he thought, too. Like, well, I got a good name and all that sort of thing, and I have good genes, but he ended up going forward with it.
But learning from Gary Brabham and not his dad a little less illustrious.
It's kind of like how acting classes work, where you'll be like, that famous actor? Yeah, well, his cousin runs a class. It's under the fucking bridge, and it's great. It's really great. But he has like the same last name. That's one of the requirements.
Pitt's acting class.
That's what I mean. It's his cousin Gerald. Pitt. It's Gerald Pitt. You don't know him? Yeah, no, Jerry's okay. He's not bad, but he knows things. You could see it in his eyes. He just can't get it out. You know how it is.
He's got connections. He has to.
He has to. Yeah, you figure if he thinks you're good, then, maybe he'll pass you along to Brad. Next thing you know, you're in a big movie. So I think that's how it works. But that's how acting classes go, honestly. There's tons of untalented siblings that have acting schools out there. So he ends up making his racing debut in 1982. So he's 21 in Formula Fords. He finished his first race in third place, which is pretty good. He broke the Sandown Ford lap record in a 9-year-old car. So people were very impressed with him. Very, very impressed. So he is hoping to debut in the UK in 1983. He's hoping to be in England here, and he's trying to make it happen, but it's a money thing apparently.
Sure.
So I guess he does apparently get to do this and get to drive
the funds,
in England there, and I guess his dad was going to stand by and be like his right-hand man there and all that kind of shit.
Crew chief.
Because it helps him, too. That makes people, the cameras are going to be on his dad the whole time, and people are going to be looking at his dad. He's going to get a lot of attention. So that's pretty good. So he ends up, he goes to England, like I said, because I guess he didn't get a lot of, nobody cared about him in Australia for some reason, which is strange. I don't understand why, but he ends up
Too many Brabhams.
He gets lost in the Brabham fold, maybe. I'm not sure. And his brother's really good, too. So I think that's, he's in like 2 shadows, which is tough.
Yeah.
It's hard enough if your dad's really successful at anything, but then your older brother, too. Like, what are the odds you're going to be good also?
It's got to be rough to be Rob Kardashian.
For many reasons. It's got to be rough to be any of those.
Any of them, yeah.
Any of them, really. I mean, the amount of surgeries you got to keep having has got to be a lot.
There's too many people.
I'm not into the doctor, and that just seems like it's exhausting. I'm not judging them. I don't care what the fuck they do, but it looks like, wow. Like,
I don't like going for checkups. Fuck.
Any of these pictures you see, it's like the bandages must have just been removed because they're constantly. Well, that looks completely different than it did last time I saw her. That can't be fucking natural. So
they got to stop passing those people off as actors too. And they put them in fucking shows and stuff. Oh,
yeah, to get attention. Yeah,
it's so obnoxious. It's like, come on,
we got to stop with that shit.
Is she reading it off of her hand? This is not even good. What are we doing?
No.
Stop acting like this is the same as everybody else in this show.
It really shows when someone's around.
Yeah,
professionals. I saw an animated show that Kim Kardashian did a voice in, and even in fucking animation, you could tell.
That she's lazy?
Yeah, well, she played an alien, which was perfect. So, like, her weird flat affect fit the alien, but she wasn't trying to. It was like, what character would she fit? A fucking alien from outer space.
Something that's not of this world.
Yeah, she's like a horny alien. Perfect.
Of course it's horny. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, of course it's horny. Like, please
she's
pee
in
on me.
American Horror Story, and she leaves like an air of flirty, horny shit out there. It's just fucking bizarre. I don't like it at all. Every time she's on the screen, I'm just like, no, stop.
No, I reject this. I reject this.
I refuse to accept that's acting.
No, it's not. Well, because it takes you out of it, too, because it's when someone's just themselves for so long, and then, now you're an actor, it's just strange. So there's
Right. Which are you?
You're not a character, you're you. Play you.
Right, are you a personality, or are you a fucking character? Figure it out.
Well, you're too famous to do anything but cameos at some point, unless you are an actor, and then that's a different story. But otherwise, you have to do cameos as yourself. Otherwise, it's like, why is that guy there? Well, Kato Kaelin, you wouldn't recognize him probably. That's the thing.
Oh, really?
He could slip in. You'd never recognize him.
You think so?
Nowadays, yeah. Look at him.
Oh, probably today. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what he looks like.
Once
now.
he cut that hair, he looks like everybody else.
Yeah.
It's that hair was the whole.
Such good hair.
Fuck. Yeah. Oh, it was great. I remember watching him on the stand, and I was like, how long did it take him
to make it? Yeah.
To do that. Like, he has to go.
Yeah.
He has to go to the salon and get. There's like highlights in it. And
his shower had more shit in it than Nicole's. I guarantee it.
Absolutely. I mean, it looks like this is like a 3.5 hour at the salon event for him to get his hair done. It's not like
Nicole had shit hair. He had amazing hair.
His hair was wild, man. That shit was incredible.
Amazing.
So, but yeah, once you're that famous, you have to be yourself.
You just got to be that. Yeah, you got to be in the show because you're that. The plot point is that Kato Kaelin is having lunch here. Like, that's got to be it.
Well, that's OJ in a movie. The joke was kind of, here's OJ. He didn't play like a serious dramatic part. It was kind of like, it's look, it's OJ. You know,
there's
what I mean?
A leading rusher being drugged by a car underneath on a creepy crawler.
Like, when he's a Naked Gun, like, the way he reacts to things is so silly, and that fits the comedy, but it's also the best he can do. You know what I mean? When he's like, hits the wet paint, and he's like, oh, and burns his hands. If it was a good actor doing that, it wouldn't be funny. It's just funny because it's so fucking cheesy. That's the point of it.
Yeah.
So,
but a good actor is a good actor, and they should be rewarded for it.
Exactly.
Not be slighted by giving roles that a good actor should be doing to some asshole.
Some actor that would have been happy getting scale so he could pay his rent that month is probably like, what the fuck?
They probably overpaid that asshole too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They did. Yeah.
I'm sure they did. So in 1984, Brabham here, nothing to do with Kato Kalin or anything like that.
That's just fun.
No, it fits. We went way down. We went from Kim Kardashian to OJ, which isn't that far off.
It's not a far stretch.
It's not a far stretch because they know each other.
They do.
She called him Uncle OJ, Uncle Juice as a child. So I'm sorry our brains just knew those two things together. Her father and OJ were best friends for 20 years.
And she was so young, she probably had OJ with OJ.
Yeah, I'm sure. In the OJ 10-part fucking whatever the hell series with Cuba Gooding Jr., one of the things David Schwimmer says is, Juice, please don't kill yourself in Kim's bedroom. Swear to God, because he had his gun to his head in the bedroom, and you're like, oh, God.
I wish you had.
I wish you had. It might have traumatized her to the point of she wouldn't have done any of this shit, and we couldn't have.
She can't suck a dick ever again.
Well, she could have just got her job instead of all this shit. Like, I don't want anybody looking at me. I just feel uncomfortable. I had to scrape Uncle Juice's brains off my walls,
off my Barbies,
off my New Kids on the Block poster, whatever the fuck she had in 1994.
Yeah.
So anyway, Brabham here. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know what any of this racing is, and I'm not going to pretend like I do. Please find our ignorance charming. We don't know.
Yeah. It's essentially pole position in real life, and that game was a piece of shit too.
Yeah, it seems kind of stupid here. He remained with the series in 1984. It was named Penistone, Penis Stone.
What?
I'm sure it was Penistone, but it's Penis Tone.
Tone, not stone.
Put it up to your ear.
Stone?
Put it up to your ear and see if you can hear the penis tone. That's beep. Up there it is. Leave your name after the penis tone. You can
tell how big it is by when you slap it on a table next to a phone. You can hear the penis tone.
Yeah, what's the tone on that?
How high-pitched or low-pitched it is.
Oh, my God. I don't know what else he was doing, but it was still...
He raised penis stone.
He raised penis stone here. There's an article, though, in 84 that says the headline is, Gary's on target.
Okay.
He's doing great. World champion's son, Gary Brabham, that's right away from there.
Shit.
World champion's son. Is on target to become Britain's top Formula Ford 2000 racer. That's very specific. Yeah. After finishing second twice at the weekend. The
Formula Ford 2000 in 1984?
Yeah, I don't know how big that could be. Yeah. The 23-year-old son of Sir Jack Brabham, he doesn't even have a name now.
It went from his... champion son. They named the dad.
Now it's just that. Was beaten home by Irishman Martin Donnelly on Saturday, then qualified on the front row for last Sunday's penultimate round of the BBC Grandstand Trophy Championships.
Wow.
Holy shit, I guess he's living in England now. And, Merrick's team, Penis Stone Racing, were penalized £1,000, which went to charity. What, for their terrible name? For making the announcers repeatedly say Penis Stone? Oh, my God.
Fuck. If you have a company and it's called Penis Tone, why are you jockeying for it to be named anything?
Yeah.
Naming anything.
And how's that not a record company back in the day? Penis Tone Records. If said in a smooth enough voice, it's not bad. Come to Penis Tone.
It was a record company for somebody wandering around strip malls in the 70s. I'm signing kids for Penis Stone.
No, that's who made 70s porn music. The Waka Chicka Bump. It's Penis Tone Records made it. Penis Tone Records. They have
the copyright on Bow Chicka Bow Bow.
That's who made it. Penis Tone Records. They knew ahead of time to make sure to get that shit locked down and trademark it because everyone was going to want it. Oh, my God. So I guess he tried his hand at other categories in 1984. He raced sports cars in the Thunder Sports Series.
Oh.
There. And then...
80s sports cars?
I guess. What are we doing? Like an 83 Dodge Charger with louvers on it? Just
Chevy Vega.
What are we racing here exactly? In the 80s?
Bad cars.
It was a lot of bad cars. A Monte Carlo Super Sport from 82. What are we racing?
Top speed at 88 miles an hour.
Yeah. 0 to 60 in fucking 12 seconds. Like, what are we? Very exciting race there. That's excellent.
Nobody could even get a ticket in this race.
It was hard. You had to get up, like, by the second lap, you could get up enough speed to get a ticket. He drove an 800 mile an hour, or 800 horsepower. 800 mile an hour would be amazing if he drove that. Wow.
I'd watch that shit.
That I'm interested in.
Hell yeah.
800 miles an hour. Gary, you're no longer the son of champion. You're 800 mile an hour guy, Gary Brabham. An 800 horsepower Porsche 911 rally car.
Fuck.
That sounds awesome. In the British Rally Cross Grand Prix. And unlike Paul Walker, he survived to tell the tale. So
that's got to be like a turbocharged V6 or something.
I don't know what the hell they were putting in the early 80s.
Porsche didn't have a V8.
I thought they had a, what the fuck is that called?
They had a flat four and then the straight sixes.
The straight sixes, I remember.
Flat sixes too.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't imagine they had a goddamn V8, but they had to for 800 horsepower.
800 horsepower. I mean,
there's no way they got that out of a 6-cylinder.
Maybe they just stuck like 5 turbos on it, just like it's all fucking gassed up with turbos. There's turbos all over this baby. I'll tell you what. The radio's turbo. You hit the dial thing, it flies up the dial. You got to be careful. It goes fast.
It's air cooled, but the brakes have got turbo.
It's all turbo. I'm sorry. Be careful. So he did that, and he came in 4th in the BBC Grandstand Series. Okay.
Whatever that is, yeah.
In one instance, at Snetterton, which is the most English-sounding town I've ever heard of. Snetterton.
It's too close to snot.
Snotterton? No, it doesn't sound good.
Gross.
That's a place people are like, I've got to get out of Snetterton right now. I can't take it anymore in this fucking town, I tell you what. I had to give him a redneck.
Snetterton in my lungs.
It's
right in my chest.
My grandpops died of the Snetterton, I'll tell you what. So we give him a little rednecky in there. I tell you what. You're a touch of Alabama since he's a racer, too. You know, had to try. So he also drove that. In 85, he thought he had a car lined up, all ready to go in 85.
Right.
He returned to Australia for Christmas, and then he was going to come back and it was all ready for the next year, and then it didn't happen. The deal fell through. He had no car.
Shit.
So if you have no car and you're a racer, you're kind of fucked. You kind of need one of those.
You're not a racer.
No, you're just a guy with like a jumpsuit who's real excited to do something that he can't do.
It separates me from
I don't know.
Jr.
You have one of those. You're like an 8-year-old at that point.
Yeah,
you're
I
sitting
could buy
in front of the TV
suit
with a football, and you're like, I got no field or helmet, but I got a football.
I can buy a flame-resistant suit.
Oh, no problem.
I guarantee it.
A hat with like STP on it?
Yeah,
no worries. Easy.
Good wrench hat. I could get one.
No problem. I got that. Some gloves. But the car.
I gotta get the car. Yeah.
That's the main issue there. So that all fell through. So he resorted to truck racing.
Okay.
Which is not what I don't think English
early adopter.
people. Yeah, and it doesn't seem very English. Also,
No.
That seems like a very American thing to do, to race a truck. And
the trucks there, I can't imagine they were super fast. No,
I don't know. I don't know.
What year was this?
85. 85.
Yeah. We didn't have NAS truck and fast trucks here until goddamn 90s.
He raced a 7.5-ton Leland Road train at the British Truck GP at Brands Hatch. Just, I don't know.
7.5 ton. That's a big fucking truck.
That's what I was going to say. Imagine like 5 garbage trucks racing. That'd be hilarious. Or like a bunch of tow trucks.
3 USA ones.
That's a lot of trucks.
That's a lot of truck.
That's a lot of trucks. So I don't know what was going on. I don't know how fast or what the speeds were there, but
a Ford F750, is that what that 7.5 tons? That's what that would be.
Maybe he was also towing something. You know, maybe that was a thing. If you could race while towing another car, possibly. Sure. I don't know.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II. not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
So, I don't know, man. I guess he's trying to, here's an article. It says, Gary Brabham, this is from April 1st, 1985. Gary Brabham is to follow in his father's wheel tracks. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
And on Good Friday, will attempt to win the Alton Park Gold Cup, one of British motor racing's most famous trophies. Well, obviously, we've all dreamt of that as a child.
Shit.
How many nights did you lay awake in bed dreaming of the Alton Park Gold Cup being in your grasp and being able to show it to everybody? Go, look what I did.
That's one of the most famous ones, huh?
Apparently so. You could have.
Of 24 people know what it is?
You could have given that to me as a kid, and I would have went like, what do I do with this piece of shit? I don't even know. I like my Little League trophies more important than this. This is garbage. Wouldn't know what it was.
Not exactly the Stanley Cup.
No. So it says the 23-year-old Australian, son of former world champion Jack Brabham, today joined former ski queen Davina Gallica in a new team aiming to repeat history at Alton Park, a challenging circuit set in the Cheshire countryside. What the fuck are you talking? So how does this work?
Yeah.
Him and like a model, a ski queen, or I guess she'd be like maybe an Olympic skier. Yeah. Some lady who's not a race car driver, is she in the passenger seat? Is that part of it?
Know.
She complains that she has to pee for the half the lap to distract him.
From behind? Is he dragging her on like rollerblades?
Oh, that would be great if she's like going back and forth. That's a sport I want to see there. He says, quote, my father won the Gold Cup there on 4 occasions, 57, 64, 66, and 67. I would love to follow his success, said Gary at the launch of the Kelly Girl Thunder Sports team in London today.
Yikes.
Wow.
That's gotta stink, man. Just every article lead is
your dad's
son.
You gotta win some shit, or else it's gonna stay like that. It said he's no stranger to thunder sports, long distance motor racing in 180-mile-an-hour sports cars.
Yeah,
wow. Having driven to victory at Snetterton last August, he said that was the first win of my racing career. It really meant everything to me. He said he was driving at age 12. And hopes to eventually copy his father's Grand Prix success, he says.
And they're going as fast as NASCARs, James. That's fucking fast.
That's very fast, 180 in a distance. And the Davina Gallica, it says Gallica, 39, twice led Britain's Olympic ski team before returning to motor racing. In a sport dominated by men, she quickly made her mark, breaking 5 British speed records and winning a place with the Hesketh Grand Prix team. She's just a badass driver.
Yeah.
I didn't think they had women drivers back then in the sport. That's why I was like, oh, what's she doing in there? But apparently she's a bad motherfucker. I guess if you're on the Olympic ski team, the crazy like Olympic skiing, your balls have to be massive.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Man, woman, child, I don't give a fuck. That is a crazy fucking thing to do.
Downhill shit? Fuck yeah.
Insane. The jumping, fuck that. So if you're ballsy enough for that, I guess racing is right up your alley, you know?
I'm impressed by the people that just do the slalom shit. No jumps at all. Just back and forth around flags and shit.
That's
so fast, and they're turning on a dime.
Every time they turn, you're like, broken legs, and snap your ankle.
Oh, my knee would explode.
Your ACL is gone. And okay.
I don't know how they do it.
So Gary said there are not many women racing drivers about, but what I have seen out of Davina as a driver, I know she is competitive and very quick.
Okay.
So, yeah, there you go. He landed a ride here for the Tech Speed Racing team.
Hell yeah.
In a 2-liter Shrike P15 Ford. 2-liter. That's
2-liter. That's a 4-cylinder.
I guess, yeah. It's a tiny fucking engine. But, I mean, like you said, you could have 100 turbos. Who knows?
Yeah, if you got that thing souped up, man, anything's possible. I mean, those 2-liter, the VTECs are 2 liters, and those things will do 150 miles an hour down a drag strip. You can get them nasty.
They get off the line quick, too. You can make them. There's light.
Launch. Oh, yeah.
So he came in second 5 times, I guess. Him and Davina as a team race because they're long distance, so I think they trade off or whatever because it's one of those. Because we've done like the 24-hour races where they trade off every few hours and it's a bunch of different drivers. So in 86, his father got a team together under the banner of Jack Brabham Racing.
Did he hire his kid?
He did. Gary did 9 out of 18 British F3 rounds. He said, sorry, son.
There's not any room for you.
In a Ralt VW RT30 and managed some good results. He came in second at Silverstone, 5th in the championship with 22 points, and he was awarded the CalNet Motor Racing Award for Best Up-and-Coming British and Commonwealth Driver.
Shit, yeah.
So he's like Rookie of the Year here. Awesome. So 1986 is when he finds his first lady here. I don't know if it's his first that he's ever been with. I'm sure. Yeah. Sure he's humped on something, but
first
he's going to marry here. And this is from, what's the date? May 11th, 1986. And it said, Sir Jack Brabham's lad is out with the begging bowl. So not only you're a beggar and you're not even a person with a name. He doesn't have a name. Until the second paragraph.
We won't even dignify you.
Wow. It said Gary Brabham, 24, is so skint, I guess that means broke.
Broke, yeah.
That his budding motor racing career is in danger of stalling on the starting grid. He's posted more than 1,000 letters to companies pleading for sponsorship for his one-car Formula 3 outfit. I didn't know there was...
just need one car, guys.
There's Formula 3? I didn't know Formula 1 was that's crazy. Is there Formula 2? There must be because there's Formula 3. How many formulas are there?
It's got to be Formula 4, right?
Formula 7 is just like Nissan Altimas with no alterations.
All stock.
Racing in mall parking lots of abandoned malls.
That's with a baby seat.
Yeah, baby seat. And you have to do it without spilling your Starbucks. That's also there. You have to have a full fucking to the top
and there's a
drink.
doll in the baby seat with sensors on it.
It cries.
If it gets knocked around too much, you lose points.
Every once in a while, you have to stop and change its diaper, too. Everyone has to. That's like the pit stop. You have to stop. Oh, shit. Yeah, otherwise it'll cry. You get docked for that. You get docked time for that. It's a tough sport. Formula 7, man. Watch out. Apparently, nobody wants it. They say that's how hungry he is to follow in the tire tracks of his Australian father.
Oh, God, it's got to hurt, man.
They just keep trying to find new ways to say it, too, which is hilarious. It's so funny. The tire tracks of his father.
In the back seat of his father's car.
Oh, man. Who won the World Drivers' Championship 3 times and is the only man to be knighted for his services to motorsport.
Unreal.
So he's the king, the lord of motorsports, this guy. Wow, that's amazing. Young Gary has had a lucky break for today's race, supporting the Monaco Grand Prix in a 75-pound one-off joint sponsorship by Shell Oils and the Brands Hatch Circuit Management. But Wendy, his Australian bride of 5 months, is still his number one sponsor. Gary, who rents a bungalow a few hundred yards from his workshop at the Brands Hatch Circuit, says, Wendy is a marvel. When we came here after the wedding back home in Wagga Wagga, that's where they live, Wagga Wagga, she got a job as a secretary to the catering manager at Brands Hatch. She is the breadwinner who keeps us going and pays the bills I run up. She pays all the living expenses, even goes out to buy pies and sandwiches to keep us going at race meetings.
Yeah.
Wow, she sounds...
she's great.
Well, he says it right here. Quote, Wendy is a winner. And what keeps her going is her belief that I can be the winner. I can be a winner at the wheel of a racing car. Wow. So they said Sir Jack, now 60, has given Gary's dream project a limited financial liftoff. But with the team's only car costing £23,000 and engines at £7,500 at a time, expenses for a full season would be around £130,000.
Oh, my.
And he says, Dad can't afford that kind of money. People seem to think he is in the Niki Lauda class for money, but that isn't so. Oh, well, Niki Lauda, obviously. I mean, clearly.
He's really killing it.
Who's in that class? I mean, honestly, that's ridiculous think that. Niki's got it all. He doesn't believe in giving anything on a plate, especially to his sons. He reckons it would make us too soft. He certainly wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. When he first came to Britain in the 1960s, not only designed his own car, he had to build it himself, including the engine.
Really?
Yeah. Gary says, to illustrate how the money side of the game has gone bonkers, Dad told me that the Brabham hospitality bill, sorry, it's a newspaper article, it's kind of like goofy at the bottom, hospitality bill for drinks now outstrips the total amount he used to run for a two-car team. So now just food and drinks, just fucking crafty is more than fucking, that's wild. Wow. So Gary says he has to choose his races carefully because he doesn't have a lot of money. He says, for instance, I had to miss the recent race at Thruxton because that's an abrasive circuit and I would have needed 3 sets of tires at £400 a set. We just can't afford that kind of outlay. So the road's rough. You go through tires there. We can't afford the tires.
We can't put $1,200 out.
Yeah, that's wild, man. He said, I don't know where the next cash transfusion, I think he means infusion, not transfusion, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It could be a transfusion, but mostly it's infusion.
Trans means they're taking it all and then giving it back.
That's right? Or somebody, well, you took it from someone and put it in you, I guess, could be that. So transfusion, sort of, but I think infusion's probably more common. He said, if it's one ever comes at all. They said, despite the nagging financial worries and an attack of glandular fever earlier in the year, a fever of the glands, apparently. I don't know what the fuck that is.
My glands got hot.
Man, I got hot glands all over the place. Gary has made his mark in Formula 3 with a second place by breaking the lap record at Brands by a full half second. He says, quote, every Formula 3, I keep laughing. Every Formula 3 race sees 30 cars lined up. Of those drivers, at least 80% want to make it into Formula 1. Well, I would fucking hope so. What are they doing in 3?
Why would it should be 100%?
Yeah, all of them. What the fuck are they doing otherwise? Only one will get there if he's very lucky. Yeah. Only the tough ones make it in this game, and I believe I'm one of the few. To be honest, I expected the Brabham name to be a lot more help to me than it has been so far.
Well, it's all they've said about you, man.
It doesn't get me sponsors. It just gets me where my name doesn't come up till the second paragraph of an article about me. That's all it does for me. He said,
and the Brabham name has gotten you in a car where 20% of the field doesn't give a fuck about this.
They don't even want to be here. Like, I'm thinking about dropping down to Formula 6, man. This is too much work. He said, still, I'll keep sending out the sponsorship letters, and we won't starve as long as Wendy keeps paying those grocery bills. Oh, my God. So there's that. Interesting. So 1986 here, they talk about more on him. I guess Brabham, they say, apparently they're talking about him being a chauffeur at this point, chauffeuring someone around here. Well, not like literally here, but I'll read the article. You hurtle into Paddock Hill Bend at 95 miles an hour. The track drops away alarmingly to the right, and you enter the sharp corner with all the anticipation of being catapulted over a cliff. It sounds like a fucking roller coaster here.
Yeah.
The professionals say that whoever goes into Paddock Hill the quickest is the bravest. There's no room for faint hearts. Cars have been known to mingle with the scenery if taken into the bend wrongly at only 40 miles an hour. Fly off into the woods. We are doing over twice that, and the F1 drivers will be going twice as fast as we are. At those speeds, Paddock Hill must be like feeling like lifting off at Cape Kennedy. Brands is one of the world's true racetracks, a genuine examination of a driver's technique, nerve, and enterprise. Blind corners, dips, crests, and twists. Sounds dangerous as fuck.
Yeah.
It is the perfect balance to the high-speed circus where sheer power and speed are everything, an extracting test demanding concentration at the highest level. I confess objectively to some trepidation after agreeing to be chauffeured and talked through the bends and hazards of the 2.61-mile circuit, despite the credentials of 25-year-old Gary Brabham.
Oh, he's riding along.
Yeah, one of the most promising Formula 3 drivers in Britain. He holds the lap record for 1.2-mile Brands Hatch Club circuit of 43.8 seconds,
My God.
averaging 98 miles an hour of speed. Our car was a Brands Hatch Racing School Ford Escort XR3i.
I don't care about those letters. It's an Escort.
It's a Ford Escort, yeah. I mean, anything you put inside a Ford Escort that makes it very fast is just funny because it's a Ford Escort going really fast. That's silly. That just shouldn't be.
Hysterical.
That is funny. I knew somebody back in the day in the 90s who had a Ford Escort GT.
Yep. My best friend down the street, that was his first car, and he was pumped about
jacked.
it.
Black?
It was white with the ground effects and low.
Yeah. Oh, no. He didn't.
He did.
He didn't.
It was low.
Oh, no.
Put house speakers in it and thought it was the shit.
No.
It's a piece of trash, man. But he loved it. He certainly loved it.
Said it's built for speed, but a mere tortoise compared to the F1 cars. It would take us more than 2 minutes to complete the circuit, which seemed very quick to me. Yet the lap record set last year in the European Grand Prix by Jacques Lafitte is 1 minute and 11.52 seconds, average speeds of 131.56 miles an hour, while in practice for that race. Ayrton Senna lapped at over 140 miles an hour.
My God.
They said, such has been the development of F1 cars that Gary, who has just clinched a sponsorship deal with Panasonic, now laps brands faster in his F3 car than his father did in 1966 when he won the last F1 World Championship. So I think they're saying the cars now, even the F3, are faster than the old F1s were.
Yeah, they're very impressive.
Now, it's funny because like in 2024, every car is fast.
Yeah, it's a fucking jet minus wings. It's crazy how fast
I don't even mean here. You can buy a Hyundai and step on it, and it's pretty fucking fast. Every car is pretty good. You know what I mean? Like even shit cars aren't bad. A Kia is pretty fucking fast for the most part. Yeah, it's interesting. So they say a few hours before our drive, he's been first at the scene of a pretty horrendous crash during testing at the circuit. One of his fellow drivers, Mike Wilds, had careened head-on at more than 100 miles an hour into a crash barrier at Clearways. Jesus.
Boy.
The front of his sports car had disintegrated, and Mike was trapped with his knees pressed against his chin. Gary had stood by with a fire extinguisher in case the car exploded, while Mike was cut out, suffering from only cuts and bruises.
Holy.
Gary himself crashed his 33,000-pound F3 Ralt at Silverstone at 120 miles an hour a few weeks earlier, causing $5,000 worth of damage to the car. He says, if you think you're going to get killed one day, though, you'll never drive.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You can't have any... You have to be a psychopath, egomaniacal lunatic.
Right.
Like when the military, the guys they look for fighter pilots who are like delusionally crazy and egotistical, that's how you have to be these guys. Because otherwise, if you think about it, you're going to crash.
These cars are meant to collapse and destroy around you.
To not kill you.
The safety in these is second to none. This is probably the safest driving you can do.
And people still die.
Yeah, if it flips over, you're fucked.
That's what I mean.
It's your head dangling out of that.
It's boom, 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 boom. You're just going to bounce every time.
Yeah.
That would suck. You'd hit your head, and then you'd have like a half a second while it flips again, and you're like, I wonder if it's ow. I wonder if it's ow. I wonder if that's ow. And every time.
When will it stop?
Ow. It just keeps going. So they said, anyway, so yeah, Gary was doing that sort of thing, and I guess this track is pretty fucking wild.
I believe
what they're saying here. He said at one point he was only driving at 0.6 of his potential.
Okay.
Gary says it's best to take an early approach to the bend, then apex on the dip afterwards. Oh, well, thanks, Gare.
I mean, that's driving, man.
That's what I was going to say. Isn't that how you go into any turn in any car?
Right.
I was just driving yesterday, and I was like,
You go into the apex and then you accelerate. That's how it goes, man.
Took the Corvette out on a windy road on purpose, the old car, and I'm like, yay! And it's slow down, out of the thing. That's great.
There it is. Yeah,
that's exactly what you do.
Feel like a race car guy.
Yeah, except going 30 miles an hour.
Yeah,
because it's a really windy road. Yeah, I actually, Sarah actually had it recorded so you can see it. And maybe I'll post it just to show. Look at me, I'm a race car guy.
Look at me racing.
I'm going 28 right now around this fucking turn. Oh, my God. I'm trying not to crash, though. So they said that Gary said apologetically, I was only driving at 0.6 of my potential. I hope you didn't find it too boring, because he took a guy around. So that's how it goes here. He's chauffeuring around a writer, I guess. So I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how to read these fucking stats at all. In 86... He did a bunch of races. Looks like he came in, 6th, 11th, 2nd, 5th, 10th, 4th, 5th, 4th, 15th, 4th. It's a lot of top 10. That's 5th in total points, I guess, for the whole circuit there. 1987, here's an article where they mention his name before his father's. How about it? He's broken through. Farningham's young motor racer, Gary Brabham, picked up third prize in the 15,000-pound CalNet Awards presentation at the London Hilton recently. So look at him. Yeah. He's not the son of somebody. Formula One star Nigel Mansell. Jesus Christ, could you be more British? Sounds like a... Nige. That's the big guy. Could it be any other fucking country in the world that has Nigel Mansell? I don't think. In Cars, if the one of those villain, Portuguese Nigels. In Cars, if the villain was British, that would have been his name. That's very impressive. Absolutely, yeah. Nigel Mansell. Yeah. It sounds like a car. Wasn't that one of the villains in the Herbie movies? Like an old Nigel Mansell with his car. He's going to get Herbie out of the way. What a fun car. That thing was alive. Wow, it was great. It was a bug. It blinked its fucking little... Yeah. It blinked its little eyes and everything. Yeah, it was fucking dope. Crazy. Man. I liked that shit when I was a kid. So this, I guess, here's a sponsorship. They said that he handed over a personal sponsorship contract worth over 1,500 pounds and a trophy to the 24-year-old Gary at the star-studded reception. The star-studded reception. $1,500 is what this guy won. It doesn't say who was there, and that he won $1,500. What stars were studying this fucking place? Who wasted their time? Come on, man. So March of 1987, here is a headline: Brabham eyes hat trick. Okay, that's great. Gary Brabham, 25, second of Sir Jack Brabham's 3 racing driver sons. At least his name came first. It's improvement. Still first paragraph, though. 2 others. Yeah, and there's 2 others. Hopes to complete a family treble by winning the first race of the season at Silverstone Saturday. Elder brother Jeff, 33, driving a Nissan, won the opening round of the LMSA series in Miami, Florida at the weekend. Youngest of the trio, David, 21, was awarded first place in the opening drive of the season at the Wheel of a Van Demon at Oram Park in Sydney in his native Australia in the Coca-Cola Championship. My God. So they are pumping him up to win as the third son this weekend to win. Oh, Jesus. Because both his brothers won this weekend already. Now he's going to win. What if he doesn't? What if now he's a loser? Loser son of Sir Jack Brabham, Gary. The third most successful son. My God, man. He said that Gary explained that David was in the lead on the last lap when he crossed the brow of a hill, only to be balked by a stranded back marker. Wow, okay. David spun, said Gary, and then was T-boned by one of the chasing cars. But the officials decided the result on the penultimate lap, which gave David first place, because they had to. It was a big. This all happened at the end, so the officials had to decide what happened. Yeah. Gary will drive a Ralt Brabham VW in the Formula 3 Championship opening race, announced a major sponsorship deal with Panasonic. So he's got Panasonic here. Yeah. Panasonic backed him for 15 out of 19 rounds in 1987. Good for him. He won 2 races at Silverstone and Donington, coming in 6th overall with 37 points. So, and his races: 5th, 2nd, 1st, 4th, 4th, 7th, 9th, 33rd, 7th, 1st, 6th, 5th. Not bad. That 33 had to be something broken, right? There's no way that's just... Yeah, there's like 3-4 races where he retired too, where your car broke or some shit happened, and I don't know, he had to shit really bad and he couldn't be out there. He showed his versatility, though, in 87 by driving a Group A Toyota Supra rally car.
Oh.
That's pretty fucking badass. That's pretty cool. At the British Rally Sprint Round in 87, too. Those are pretty, you don't see those a lot.
They're boxy and fun.
Yeah, at Brands Hatch, coming a marvelous third. Marvelous, the article said.
Yeah.
He then returned briefly to Australia, and then in the Bathurst 1000, Bathurst? Or maybe it might be Bathurst, possibly, sharing a Works BMW M3 with Juan Manuel Fangio II, and was
running
up to
1,000 miles in one of those. That's fun.
That's pretty awesome. It was up to 5th before Fangio glanced a stricken car in the rain.
God damn it,
you
Fangio!
Fucking Fangio, you idiot!
You ruined my life.
Juan Manuel, dickhead, fuckhead. Nice job.
Crashed it.
Crashing my bullshit. So I guess. He does well. I mean, people are saying, look at how great he's doing, but then he's not. He's still in F12, which is a problem here.
Not good.
1988, for the British F3 Championship, he joined Bowman Racing to race a Ralt VW RT32, and he did well, I guess, and finished, let's see, they said he finished second. Oh, he won 4 races to finish second in points that year in 88. So not bad. And he did. It was 9th, 5th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 21st, 2nd, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, 8th, 1st, 8th, 1st, 1st.
He won a few. That's great.
If he comes in 8th, he's winning the next race. So watch out for that. And he came in 2nd with 81 points. And very good. He also won the Scottish Super Prix and the Oulton Park Gold Cup, which, as we know, prestigious.
Again. Yeah, it's the most famous.
Yeah, so emulating Hill to the honor of emulating their fathers. Oh, he beat Hill to emulate his fathers, who both had won the trophy. There we go. So here's an article on the whole dynasty, the Brabham dynasty. Here comes Jack's sons. This is from the Sydney Morning Herald, August of 1988. So for Gary Brabham, the last 4 years have been tough, and one of the things that has made life so hard is his name, Brabham. One would think a young racing car driver whose father happened to be Jack Brabham would have made it, and that's the problem. Everybody assumed just that. When Gary arrived in Britain determined to make it to Formula One racing, he couldn't find a sponsor. He said, they just looked at me and said, your old man's rich, why doesn't he help you?
It's a good point. Yeah.
If he doesn't believe in you, why should I?
Yeah,
essentially.
He's fucking knighted, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, and if they didn't say that, they say, you're a Brabham. How come you can't find a sponsor? There must be something wrong with you. Yeah, exactly. But Sir Jack Brabham, 3-time World Formula One champion, has no intention of overshadowing his sons. Well, then stop going by Sir, and that'll help. That'll help a lot. No intention of overshadowing them with my knighthood. Sorry.
The Queen touched me with a sword, for fuck's sake.
It's cool. It's fine. Don't worry about it. That's fucking incredible. No intention of overshadowing. If any one of them makes world championship, it will be all their own work. He said, quote, I can't hold the wheel for them. That's what Jack says. I give them all the advice, but then it's up to them. All 3 sons are into it, obviously. He said, I didn't plan it that way, but it's good. It gives me something to do. Gary said he and David, the youngest, became interested in racing when their father wasn't around. Whenever Sir Jack went overseas, they would climb onto the tractors on their farm near Wagga Wagga and belt it around the place, quote unquote. And it said eldest son, Jeffrey, went into motor racing early and did well in Formula 3 in Britain, but he failed to raise the enormous sums of money he needed to get into Formula 1 as well. And Jeffrey's now racing sports cars successfully in America for Nissan on a comfortable salary. Okay. And they said he'll probably never race Formula 1, but he's happy doing what he enjoys. Gary and David are determined to have a crack at Formula 1. But Gary says success was not determined by ability on the track, but by powers of persuasion off the track. He's like, you need sponsors. That's what it's all about. Being a good driver doesn't fucking matter if nobody's paying for you to drive, which is true. And he said this is the year he has been able to concentrate on driving without being distracted by trying to find money and all the secondary jobs he had to do for himself. His first 2 years in Britain were so hard he nearly gave up. In 1985, he didn't drive at all. He said, I was just mentally exhausted. I didn't get to a stage where I wanted to get in the car. So then he ended up going better. And he said, if you've got good backers, they want you to win, so they give you what you need. That makes sense. They're big enough to take you to Formula One. That'd be good. So, yeah, that's the problem here is money is what this is all about. This isn't like, I'm making the team, and then you go there. You got to raise your own fucking money.
It's got to be the most expensive sport on the planet.
It's so expensive to race anything. Yeah. You have to have great sponsors or win a lot, or else you're fucked, essentially, here. So he came in 5th at Macau, I don't know, and won the Bruce McLaren Motor Racing Award.
Oh, it's got to be the guy that made the McLaren, right?
Yeah, it has to be. Is there more McLarens out there?
There are.
I don't know. So they said he's going to test in Formula One, October 1988.
Okay.
So he's going to make it. Gary Brabham, 27, second of three-time world champion, second son of three-time world champion Sir Jack Brabham, will soon be at the wheel of a Grand Prix car. Wow. By winning the Cellnet Formula 3 Super Prix at Brands Hatch yesterday, he collected not only the £4,000 first prize, but also the chance of a day's testing in a Benetton Formula 1 car, probably in December. Mm-hmm. So that's what he's going to do. Lucky him. So I guess he, during the year, they say Brabham already proven his testing abilities when he had developed the Avon radial tire for F3 use.
Oh,
interesting.
Avons are great.
1989 here, I guess he was supposed to drive for somebody, but he ended up not driving for somebody that was supposed to be a bigger sponsor, and he ended up getting a lower one. He drove in the British F3000 series with Bromley Motorsport. Okay. I don't even know what the hell that is.
I imagine it's a team, huh?
Oh, yeah, I know it's, but I don't know what they're racing. I don't know if they're racing lawnmowers or what over there. I have no fucking clue. He also managed to secure some outings in the International F3000 Series for a Bromley and Leighton House teams in Reynard 89D Cosworth. Is that a car? Is it a place? I don't know. I have no clue what the hell that is. 1989, he's testing a new Mazda. Oh, yeah. For the first time ever, Mazda Cars UK will enter the competitive world of single-seater racing at Snetterton Circuit. Yeah. I was going to say, for me, that is a single seat. I can rest my elbows on both windows of those fucking things. It's scary. So they're building those, and I guess Brabham is one of the people in. Much of the initial testing with the Mazda unit has been undertaken by Gary Brabham, son of former world triple F1 champion Sir Jack Brabham.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Since he's not a junior, we have to explain to you who he is.
Who the fuck he is. Who finished second in last year's F3 championships and 9IS tackling the, and 9IS, I don't know what that is, tackling the 1989 European F3000 series, has been able to give vital feedback about the Mazda. So he's a good, they go to him to see. David Palmer, publicity director of Mazda Cars, said, since the heyday of the RX-7 in the early 80s, those were cool in the 80s, though, man. Those were like, hey, look at that thing.
That's a pain in the ass to work on, though.
Oh, God, yeah. When Mazda held a dominant position in touring car racing, I've been looking for a suitable method of returning to the circuits. I am not expecting any resounding results as we take part in the final few events of the season, rather just some justification for our efforts.
Yeah.
So they're going to throw their Mazda hat in the ring here.
There we go.
So Gary he ran one of those 24-hour races here, and he was in fourth at the 21-hour mark when his gearbox had a problem, and he ended up finishing 13th.
Shit.
So that's an issue, and that happens. So if you're driving a car at top speed for 24 hours, shit breaks sometimes.
They're not used for that.
No. So looking at this in '89, this is the Formula 3000. So is that F3? I guess he finished first in '89 in points.
Does it go all the way to 3,000?
I'm in F1312, and I got to tell you guys, it's not what it's cracked up to be. It's just not.
F3000 is just walking.
Is Formula One is that actually Formula 1000? Is that what that is? They just shortened it. I don't fucking know, but he's first in the series.
Okay.
He's with all the points. His races are third, first, second, sixth, first, fifth, first, second, first. Not bad. Pretty good here. Then he in the 24-hour of Le Mans, which we've covered guys that did that before, he was driving a Porsche and came in 13th. So 19.
He does great in a Mazda and can't figure it out in a fucking Porsche?
In a Porsche. Yeah, he loves the Mazda, though. Here we go. 1990, March 10th, 1990, Sydney Morning Herald. The headline does not have his father in it.
Oh, how about that?
Gary Brabham's attitude scores him a new life in the fast lane.
Okay.
And then it says Friday. This time last month, Gary Brabham was preparing for life as a has-been. After winning the 1989 Formula 3 championship. Yeah, that's what it is, Formula 3000. Sir Jack Brabham's middle son was coming to terms. See, they had to do it. Second paragraph. Damn it.
Again.
Fucking A, with the few options that were open to him.
Right in the chin.
3 weeks later, here he is in Phoenix, ready to have a crack at qualifying for his first Formula One race.
Phoenix, Arizona?
Yep, absolutely.
How about it?
At 28, he has very nearly made it to the top of the chosen sport. I was within 24 hours of signing for Japan, Brabham said. It would have meant that I would never had a chance at Formula One. But he does have a chance now, by all accounts, not a very big one, at least not yet. When the green light flashes for pre-qualifying laps at Phoenix, Brabham will be at the controls of a new car powered by a radical new W12 engine, prepared by the brand new Life Racing Engines team.
It's a 12-cylinder, babe.
Wow. He said, there's a lot of work to do. If I can get this car into the points by the end of the season, it will make my reputation. Yeah. The team has been strung together with a budget of about 3.5 million Australian dollars.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a much more expensive endeavor. Not 130 grand.
Yeah.
This is $3 million.
And they're running it on one of the fastest tracks at PIR. That's a fast fucking track.
Yeah, this team is going to, that's what they're laying out. They said some teams lay out as much as $50 million.
Wow.
Which is insanity. He said, back when my dad was racing, they didn't really have sponsorships, didn't need it. In 1966, when he won the world championship, they spent less than these big teams will spend on catering this year. They go back to that.
We've heard that, Gary. That was from fucking 86.
Yeah, it's 3 years later. He's like, I'm using old material. I don't have anything. I didn't write anything new. Got old jokes here.
It used to be the car was cheaper than food.
In Russia, car pays for you. Sorry, I watched Yakov Smirnoff the other night. It is the 80s, and, didn't know what to do. So they said, as Gary Brabham climbed from Formula Ford 1600 over 18 years of racing, money has been the biggest obstacle, bar one. He said, it took me 2 years to convince Dad that I should give it a go. I was a bit of a rat bag back then. A rat bag? What the fuck does that mean?
I'm bringing that one back.
He shows no signs of it now, small and slight, dressed in a neon pink and green shirt. This Brabham looks more like a kid from the suburbs than a potential world beater. He admits that the glamour side of racing is not his strong side. Instead, he approaches his work with the steady eye of a craftsman. He said, you have to be selfish. It's a selfish sport. But some of the drivers go over the top. I'd rather be part of the team I'm working with. The mechanics will put you in that little bit of extra effort if you don't behave like some of these hard-nosed, snobby little types. If you're not a prick to the people who work for you, they try harder. That's a real fucking real thing there. He said, like his father, they say, Brabham is more than just a hothead with a lead foot, but that doesn't stop him from being excited at the opportunities opening up for him. So he's ready to go here. He works out to keep fit, spending a lot of time on neck exercises, and he's managed to cut his smoking down to about 5 cigarettes a day.
Attaboy.
Good for you. He said he hopes all this effort will pay off. He said, Dad could have helped me all the way through, but his philosophy and mine is that if you do it that way, you won't handle the hard times when they happen. I've been through so many lows, it's really made me hungry. So he's ready to go here.
Here we go.
It's an Italian life racing engines team is what he does, and they signed him as a driver, but it wasn't a big deal here. It didn't work out very well for him. His engine blew in the 4th lap, and that was that. So he didn't get to really qualify very well in that. So they're
4th lap. He ran around the track 4 times and blew it up?
Blew it up, yeah. So this engine wasn't exactly, it was an experimental engine. Apparently it was not in the, we're not ready for it's prototype phase. Right. We're not producing this fucking thing.
W12, it must be 2 V6s or something? I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, they said basically the car was some 15 to 20 seconds off pre-qualifying pace at least, translating to about 25 seconds of pole time. When it was clear no improvement was forthcoming, he did the smart thing and got out, giving someone else a chance to waste their time.
Okay.
So there you go. That year, Formula One, he races nothing. He didn't qualify twice.
Get in.
Yeah. 2 did not qualify. So
damn it.
That's that. Formula 3, though, here. He finishes 8th or 11th in 1990 for Middlebridge Racing. So, he's not tearing it up. But after Formula One, he goes back to Formula 3, like I said, and doesn't do that great. Then he decides he's going to join his brother Jeff on the IMSA circuit.
What is that?
One Brabham has been too much for most of the competitors in the IMSA Camel GTP sports car series.
I wonder if that's the cigarettes.
What the fuck? It probably is. Next year, there will be a second member of the Australian racing clan in America. Jeff Brabham, on the verge of winning his 3rd straight GT prototype title this weekend in the Camel Grand Prix of Southern California, will welcome younger brother Gary to the series in 91. Gary Brabham, the middle son of among 3-time Formula One champion Jack Brabham.
Yeah.
Holy shit, there we go. Gary says, off the racetrack, Jeff will still be my big brother. On the racetrack, he'll just be another driver I'll have to beat. But Jeff is in a class, is the class of the field, and I can learn from him. We can help each other. So he's like, if my brother's the best, I'll try it too. Fuck it, why not?
I'm not afraid.
Nothing else is working for me.
Yeah.
The rest of it's a shit fucking pile.
And he can't compete in anything except for F3. He's just not fast enough.
I guess. He doesn't seem to have good cars either is the problem.
Right, yeah. He's not getting good sponsorship. So he's got to be a shit driver.
So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? The shit driver or the lack of sponsors? That's the thing. You know what I mean? It's one of those, but we don't know. Is he a shit driver, or is he never getting the opportunity to be a good driver?
Yeah, but you gotta have talent to get the fucking opportunities. I mean,
True.
NBA's everybody's talking about not drafting LeBron's kid because he's not that good.
Yeah, that's true.
Your dad can be great at something, and
it happens.
You're
all
just
the
not.
fucking time.
Yeah.
There's a Dale Berra out there, Yogi's kid. You know what I mean? There's so
Richard
many.
Petty's son is terrible at racing.
We can name a million athletes where the kid turned out to be a pile of
sucks.
shit. Yeah, kid sucks. Michael Jordan Jr. didn't do shit. You know what I mean? That tells you a lot. The best guy, kid, couldn't hack it. Dropped out.
Tough, man.
It's tough.
And you're always going to have that so-and-so's son. That's brutal.
It's tough, man. So they say that the younger Brabham won the British Formula 3000 Championship in '89. This year had a brief trial with the Life team in Formula One, failing to make it through pre-qualifying on the first 2 races of the season before engine problems. He went on to run the Formula 3000 Championship with a pair of third-place finishes as his best efforts of the season. The announcement was made Friday at a news conference at Del Mar Fairgrounds. How many press were there for this announcement? Where Sunday's race will be run on a temporary circuit. Also at the news conference, IMSA announced some expected changes for the next season. The series will initiate a bonus point system with 1 point for winning the pole, 1 point for leading the most laps, and 1 point for driving the fastest lap in the race. Yeah. Any driver who can sweep those 3 points and win the race will earn at least 2 more bonus points. Oof. What used to be known as an endurance series continues to move toward made-for-TV sprint events of 2 hours or less, with only the traditional season opening Daytona 24 hours, the Sebring 12 hours, and the 500-kilometer Camel Continental as events longer than 300 kilometers. So they're trying to make it so people can actually watch it.
Yeah.
And not just heard it here.
2
it happens.
hours of cars is a long fucking time, man.
24 is insane.
Jesus.
No one's watching
that's
that the whole
impossible
time.
to watch that. No. I gotta sleep. Fuck you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, never mind. You guys taking naps. I get a nap now too. So in 1991, that's where he does all of this. I guess his brother Jeff won the race, the 12-hour race that year.
Okay.
He's going to race April 2nd here. He shared his Nissan's 12 hours of Sebring victory with his brother Jeff and Derek Daly. And so there we go. I guess, teamed up. Gary, whose brother won 3 of the past 4 Miami events, will get his first laps over the 1.87-mile downtown street course.
Good
in
Lord.
Practice Friday afternoon. Holy shit.
I can't imagine.
That's fun. Well, this is a blast from the Crime and Sports past. Yeah. The car is the same one Jean-Paul Jr. and Kevin
speedboat guy.
Kevin Cogan drove to and fucking missing, looking for fucking killed women. Remember that?
Yeah,
There's
that's right.
There's women missing. There's one that was found dead, and he disappeared and last was seen like surfing in Thailand or some shit. Jean Paul is still out there. The authorities are still looking for him. He is an absolute fugitive for years.
Bad man. Bad man.
Yeah,
evidently.
Allegedly. We got a lot of people contacted us when we first did that story. It's like episode
the
30 or something.
The girl. Yeah.
Was saying how there's a whole search for her, and this is a big deal, man. That there no one has forgotten that. So here's
I
also
did for a second.
yeah, we didn't remember.
Yeah.
So the Miami Herald, that's where this article is from.
Right.
And right under this, also occurring in Florida, Gainesville's nude relays halted.
What?
45 male and female runners from 10 college track teams competed Sunday in Gainesville in what was dubbed the second annual nude relays.
Gainesville, Florida people.
Gainesville.
Yikes.
The runners stripped down for an unlit sprint around the University of Florida track stadium at 2:30 in the morning. So it's pitch black out there.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you see after a minute. Yeah. The runners competed for 1 hour or until the police turned on the stadium lights and the athletes left. No arrests were made. This is not a sanctioned event. This is just some shit that happened here.
It's embarrassment.
It had been planned since the first secret nude relays in 1990. It attracted a handful of runners. The legend of that first race gained momentum at NCAA meets around the country, so it became like a viral thing before the internet. And it started to overshadow the Florida relays. And so there you go. Oh my God! So I guess he drove in a Nissan in a 2-hour race at Miami and came in 8th, and so that's good, I suppose. I don't fucking know if that's good or not. He also, I think he had pants on, so I give him less credit if I'm being honest with you. He also races some in Australia in 1991.
Okay,
and then in 1992 he rejoined Nissan Performance Technology.
Yeah,
and he drove the 24-hour Daytona race, and he had to retire while he was in 3rd place.
Probably a Skyline or some shit. That's a good car.
That's a fucking dope path. They had one of the Japanese ones. That's badass. So 12 hours of Sebring, him and his brother came in 2nd that time. Him, his brother, and some other guy. Yeah, driving some Nissan NPT 91A.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck that is at all.
It's probably some fucking, it's a race car.
Little Euro racer,
you can't buy that, yeah.
You know, in England, a lot of those little tiny cars are like, they love those because those are like the little racers because they don't have like, the roads are small.
Roads,
They can't give you like a Dodge Challenger over there. I mean, that you could, but it's going to be a pain in the ass to park at places and shit.
They don't have lifted trucks there. There's no way they can drive those on those roads.
There's got to be a couple of hillbillies over there, right?
You think so?
I'm positive there's English rednecks who have seen what's going on over here and been like, all right, yeah, jack it up.
Look at that, eh?
Oh, look at that, oh, yeah. And fucking put it all
I'll
up.
pull a fucking castle, eh?
Yeah. Old British people just stare at them and shake their heads.
What are you doing with that?
What are you doing?
Go steal Buckingham Palace.
Oh, take the whole thing, eh?
Drag it off the foundation.
The Queen's carriage. I'm going to fucking pull it with this fucking thing. See how the Queen likes a little speed, eh? All right.
Hang on.
A little bit of exhaust on her, yeah.
Filling the castle with black smoke.
Black smoke.
Rolling coal down Buckingham Palace.
That's right. Oh, you like that, you wrinkly bitch? All right. That's right.
Running it past those guards that don't move. You better chase, innit?
Chase, innit? Innit? Yeah, that's right.
Faster than you thought, eh?
Oh, my God. So the Kansas City Star talks about him in 1993. January 16th, Australian racer Gary Brabham has signed a contract with Dick Simon Racing. First time they haven't mentioned his father. Hold on, though. For the 1993 IndyCar season.
Shit.
Brabham, son of 3-time world Formula One champion Sir Jack Brabham, will make his IndyCar debut in his homeland March 21st in the Australian IndyCar Grand Prix. That's the whole article. 2 sentences, and they had to mention his father.
Unbelievable.
That is fucking hilarious, by the way. By the way, right under this is thoughts from Coach Ditka here, from Ditka's point of view.
What's Coach got to say?
Mike Ditka, the ex-Chicago Bears coach, on a variety of things. On William the Refrigerator Perry, quote, "We called him the other day. Supposedly he weighs 325. Hey, who knows? He's running twice a day, from the refrigerator to the bathroom." Okay. Saying he's a fat fuck.
Yeah.
They said, what's wrong with Donnell Wolford, who is the Bears cornerback? Right. And he said, what's wrong with him? He can't cover anybody. That's what's wrong with him. They said,
so many of his cards.
Well, yeah, I remember that guy. What do you think about the Metrodome in Minneapolis? And he said, they could convert it into a national armory and it would be more useful than what it's used for now. I know they could grow grass on it and use it for livestock. He said it's a piece of shit. He hates the Metrodome.
Why are they asking Coach
I don't know.
wild-ass questions?
Why they're just like three random questions with Coach is a weird fucking thing to do. I don't get it. 93 and 94, he made appearances at the Australian Gold Coast IndyCar race. Mm-hmm. And until 2000, he was the only Australian to do so. Wow. Which is funny because it's the Australian race.
Yeah.
I think they won a local. Yeah. He qualified at 20th. That year in 93, Brabham did here, not too shabby. And so this year, he's just on and off doing this. American open wheel racing results.
Hell yeah.
I see he's 40th. He came in 14th in the first race.
He's not good anymore. What happened?
I don't know what he's good at. That's the thing. I don't know if he was ever great or if he's just mediocre and his dad has a good name or I don't know what the fuck it is here.
He probably had a good team at first and then Because your quality of your finish is going to depend on the car.
I would think so.
That's rule one. You got to have a great car. If you don't have a great car, you're not going to win.
You're not going to win. No, you have to have a great car and be really good at racing. Actually,
be
driving.
Talented.
You got to have it all. It's one of those sports. So 1995, he retires from international motor racing. And begins to offer advanced driver training courses.
Here you go. Yeah.
He's going to go back to racing, but this is for a second. He's like, hold on, I can't do this. He has an operation on the Gold Coast, but he's also tutored overseas. And 93, by the way, was when he was on the Australian Today show, and they were like, what a nice guy. He trained Rowan Atkinson.
What?
And
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean and Captain Mark Phillips for the British GP celebrity race, and he also taught celebrities competing in the Australian GP celebrity races. Gary's also been hired by the likes of Porsche, Rover, Ford, Volkswagen, GM, and Mercedes to drive at press launches.
Cool.
To here's a
showcase
little example.
Car.
Yeah, he's going to drive it in and skid out to the side there and go, look at that. They said he couldn't help himself when he was given a chance to drive a Brabham Repco BT23 in the Race of Legends support race in the Adelaide 500 V8 supercar event in 2000, and he came in third.
Really?
So I'm going to say grace here.
In 2000?
In 2000, he's had a career. He's retired. He still has a good name.
Yeah.
He's he's racing.
Nice
he's hanging
guy.
out with Mr. Bean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Asking him questions. He won't fucking answer him. He's getting frustrated with Mr. Bean.
Stealing Whistler's mother and putting it in the trunk.
You know how it goes. So we'll say grace with that. And the problem here is once he retires, he's up to no good from the start.
Really?
And this is one of these where some of them are, a lot of crime is sprinkled in throughout the course of the thing. And some of them this is one where it's kind of all from now, it's just downhill and it's over with for him. And he's a fucking disaster. And what he's doing is horrible. From 2003 to 2007, he's just up to no good. We'll talk about what happens, what he does. Well, it doesn't get found out until 2009, what he was up to during this. Years go by. In 2009, he is going to, and this is the fucked up thing, no one will find out about this, by the way, in 2009. This did not come out in 2009.
Really?
This was somehow completely suppressed from the news, sealed up. Nobody knows about it. I don't know if it's because
his dad was knighted.
His father is Sir is what it is, but in 2009...
He knelt in front of the fucking Queen, James.
Well, his son knelt in front of something much more disturbing.
Oh, what'd he do?
He pleads guilty in 2009. Like I said, this won't come out for years. Of charges of, quote, indecent dealing of a child under 12 years.
Oh, Gare.
He's molesting a child for years.
Oh, no.
And he does it for years, too. And it's completely, they think to protect his father, who was still alive at the time and, whatever. So it's completely suppressed. He's found guilty of this and served time in a high-security section of the Wachall jail.
Wow.
And I guess it was completely, no one knew about it at all. It wasn't a big thing. Because you'd think you'd say, son of three-time F1 champion.
That's all they kept saying.
Yeah, and Jack would be like, hey, keep my name out of this one, okay? I get it.
The one time they decide not to talk about him.
So that happens in 2009. He was molesting this girl in 2003 and on. Okay. By the way, we'll talk about it. Never mind. Okay. So that's horrible. But in 2009, nobody finds out about this. So he's still angel guy. What a nice guy. He's still that guy. May 19th, 2014, his dad dies, Sir Jack. And the reason why I kept reading you all of these racing articles was to show how famous his father was, too. Because to show, not just go, he's really famous. Every article is son of three-time blah, 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 and then him. But this is how it's so big that this is the silverest of silver here. That could suppress molesting kids. This is fucking crazy. So May 19th, 2014, Sir Jack Brabham dies at age 88. So, yes, he dies at his home in the Gold Coast, Queensland here. Died after a long battle with a terrible kidney condition for which he underwent dialysis 3 times a week in recent years.
Jesus, it's so awful.
Holy shit. The iconic sportsman born in Hurtsville, New South Wales. That's how I love how they describe him. That's fucking wild. According to the statement the Brit gave to the media today, Dennis said the word legend is often used to describe a successful sportsman, but often it exaggerates their status. In the case of Sir Jack Brabham, however, it's entirely justified. Yeah. That's what they said. After retiring from the sport to be a full-time family man, Sir Jack didn't abandon the world of motorsport for good. He's fucking his secretary. So he's going to do fine. At this point, the family name is still gold. No one knows what his son has done. Yeah. Then, March 24th, 2016, guess what? He gets fucking busted again.
Oh, no.
And now 2009 comes out, too, that this is the second fucking time. It's almost like if you made it public and people knew to keep their fucking kids away from him, this might not happen. Weird, right? So he was convicted here, which is, I guess the trial had been delayed since 2013 for 3 years.
So his dad was still alive when he got arrested the first time.
Yes. Well, this thing is, she was molested between the years of 2003 and 2007. Didn't tell her mother till 2013.
Oh, my.
Okay. And she, by the way, is the sister of the other girl he went to jail for molesting.
No.
So I think this girl saw how that whole thing affected the family and said, I'll keep my mouth shut.
I'm not saying anything.
I'm not saying shit. He molested, I believe they were 6 and 8 were the girls when he was molesting them.
Who were they? Family friends?
They won't say. It's a privacy matter.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yeah.
They don't want to say how it is, but they say it happened in a car. He did it.
Ew, a lot.
He was molesting these girls. It's fucking...
He feels safe in a car.
Yeah, abused her in a 4-year period.
Oh,
which is,
Jesus.
But that's when he started 6 and 8 with these two girls, from what I've heard here, allegedly. So, not allegedly, he's in jail. He went to jail. So they said a lot of, it's pretty fucking disgusting, basically.
Yeah.
He's initially charged with 1 count of rape and 6 counts of indecent treatment, but was found not guilty of 5 counts somehow. He was convicted of 1 count of rape and 1 count of indecent treatment of a girl under the age of 12. So, yeah, he pleaded not guilty since the beginning of the trial. And after the verdicts were handed down, that's when the court was told that he had a criminal history of this before.
Oh, boy, of her sister.
So they describe all this, then they say, Gary, who's also the brother of Le Mans winners, David and Jeff Brabham, leave us out of this.
Not us. Say dad. He's dead.
No, they fucking sandwich it between them talking about how he doesn't say he's guilty of fucking kids and he's got a criminal history. What are we doing here? Oh, my God. So they say that, Jesus Christ, somewhat successful in junior Formula and winning the British Formula 3000 championship in 89. He tried his luck in F1, but with disastrous results. Gary was part of arguably the worst F1 team in history during the 1990 season, Life F1, for which he failed to pre-qualify for 2 races.
Didn't pre-qualify, fuck qualifying.
Oh, my God, that's fucking funny. A few more attempts with sports car racing didn't end much better either, concluding his racing career with not a single high-level win. Wow, that's not good. His father, Jack, passed away in 2014, and they said it was liver disease here, so I think it was kidneys, though. I think they just fucked up. So
sounds like Dad may have been a drinker.
The jury in this case, by the way, here's a headline, quote, "No evidence, no proof, no chance of justice for Gary Brabham. Jury retires in Brabham rape trial by Melanie Petronic, the Courier Mail, March 24th, 2016.
Say that again.
No evidence, no proof, no chance of justice for Gary Brabham. That's what old Melanie's saying here.
I don't like the way Melanie worded that.
Let's read this and see if Melanie, she means something different. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt, Melanie. Yeah. A jury has retired to decide the fate of motor racing champion Sir Jack Brabham's son, who was on trial for allegedly raping a young girl as she sat on his lap in a car. Oh, you disgusting motherfucker.
Oh, fuck.
They don't even say his name in the first... It's just
all about Dad.
Wow. Don't say my name during that sentence unless I did that, please. Don't do that. Gary Thomas Brabham, 45, pleaded not guilty to 7 charges in the Brisbane District Court on Monday. It's been alleged the girl was aged between 6 and 10 at the time he touched her in a sexual way between 2003 and 2007. The jury was shown a 2012 video of the girl, now 19, telling a police officer that Brabham touched her when she was 6 years old as she sat on his lap wearing shorts when he drove a car. While he drove, he's doing this.
Jesus Christ.
The girl said on another occasion, the balls, the fucking balls. She'd been sick at her home in Brisbane's West. Brabham came into her room, sat beside her, and
you know what he did.
Quote, rubbed his hand on her vagina. Yeah. Quote, I was crying, the girl said. He was sort of like comforting me as he was touching me. He made it seem to me I was crying because I was sick, but I was crying because he was touching me.
Like, oh my God.
You
like
sick
gonna make the
motherfucker.
flu better? You son of a bitch.
I'll bring your fever right down here.
Oh my God.
The girl said afterward she tried to get away from him as quickly as possible after that. So the jury began to deliberate its verdict about 3:30 p.m. yesterday. Holy shit. Now the thing is he's saying it's my word against theirs and it's all made up and they've conspired against me years apart from each other. Because they really got it in for me. Tell you what, these guys, they are not fans of F1 racing or anything like that.
They hate Volkswagens.
They fucking hate F3000 racing. And they hate anyone who's been knighted, I think, also.
Anything F1 to 3000, they are just despisers of it.
So he's sitting here waiting for the jury to come back on this one. He's already gone to jail for this, so it seems like this would be a pretty major offense. And also an offense that would probably get the shit kicked from you in most jails.
Oh, my.
I would hope in Australia even also. Maybe they're more lenient, but I doubt it.
Yeah, they'll beat you.
Maybe
with
it's
a wallaby.
worse.
Yeah,
I was going to say they will hit you with a kangaroo.
Yeah,
pick it right up by the ankles, and I think that's what you have to do is that you have to fight kangaroos if you're. They beat you with a Foster's can.
Give you a koala herpes or whatever it is. That they have. Gonorrhea. I think it's syphilis.
I think it's syphilis. Yeah, koalas have syphilis. So imagine him. He's got to be sitting in that fucking courtroom waiting to hear
his fate.
His fate, like in the lawyers with the lawyers and all that, while the jury's retired, or sitting in his little holding cell, as if that's another thing there. But he's sitting there. He's very confused, and then out of nowhere, though, there's a knock on the door. He's like, "I hope this is someone telling me that everything's going to be okay." It's not though. He's looking down the barrel of 2 guns, baby.
Oh boy!
It's the Mexican pimp, of course. Guns blazing, and he says. How is it you've come to arrive here?
Honest.
Why are you here? You, my friend, are disgusting. And I will say that with full knowledge that let's be honest here, I sell women, you know? I mean, I sell them, right? I sell them, highest bidder, I don't care, I don't give a fuck. But here's the thing, even I'm ashamed to be in the room with you. That's you, I sell women, I sell adult women, though, at least.
Women.
I get women. It's different. You sell. I have a staunch policy of background investigation with cross-check with local and federal governmental agencies. I don't fuck around with the kids. You, sir, are scum.
Truly.
And then poof, in a cloud of bullets and tequila, he's gone. And Gary was very afraid because he's never met a Mexican before. And he's like, what happened? Who is that?
What was that language?
What is going on here? We don't have Mexican people in Australia. I'm not sure. So there he is, March 26th, 2016 here. Wow. He is, the headline's great. Gold Coast-based driver, son of Sir Jack Brabham, a serial child molester.
Oh, God damn it.
So the fucked up part is if you take the other part out, you can take an out of context where it says, Sir Jack Brabham, comma, a serial child molester. Don't put my name in these sentences.
Oh,
what if someone is blind in one eye and they only see half the sentence? I'm fucked.
And the only thing worse than a child molester is a serial child molester.
Child molester.
Damn it.
It said Gary Brabham, son of motor racing legend Sir Jack Brabham. And then they have to say it in the body of the article, too. is a serial child molester.
The man met Liz, for Christ's sake.
Oh, my God. Who, for years, hid his crimes behind a wall of lies. Only his ashamed family knew the truth. Yeah, because I'm sure that's where his first marriage went, or a second marriage.
Oh, maybe so.
Brabham managed to have his name suppressed as he served out his time in high security at Wachall Jail. On his release, in an attempt to rebuild his motor racing career, Brabham claimed to have been overseas working for large motoring companies. Like what mob guys used to tell their kids. I'm out west being a cowboy. That's what happened. Yeah.
I had to go off to college.
I went to college for a few. It's fucking ridiculous. That's what he said he was doing. In an interview, he said, I enjoyed sports cars. I think the one thing I enjoyed most of all was testing, and I had a good reputation for it. Well, that's your only good reputation.
Yikes.
I got to test different cars. Even Nissan used to fly me to America just to test. He said he talked up running a few high-performance days with Dad and vowed to develop a workplace health and safety initiatives to reduce company car accidents. But this week, the sham ended when the 54-year-old was again convicted of 1 count of rape and 6 of indecent treatment of a child under the age of 12. He was found not guilty of 5 other counts of indecent treatment. His victims are sisters.
Oh, my.
And the devastation caused by Brabham was described by family friends as, quote, extensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, that will fuck a child up, man.
The mother said, it's been nearly a 9-year ordeal for us. This has been a really difficult time for our family. It's nearly now over, and the truth has come out. We've got sentencing in 3 weeks. It's probably a relief the truth has come out, but I just don't know how to feel. It hasn't really sunk in. The thing is, he was saying he didn't do it. He had no remorse because he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And the mother outside talked to the press. I saw the video, and she was like, this is fucking crazy. They're like, This makes me even angrier that he won't even admit to it and say sorry. Like, this is fucking ridiculous.
And he's up there preaching about driver safety and the safety of a vehicle when he's got a kid on his lap and he's touching her while he's driving.
Fucking
That's
disgusting.
Got to be much more distracting than drinking, right?
I would say, and dangerous too.
Yeah.
Never mind a car seat. Jesus.
Right. You can hurt that child horribly.
Oh, so he said, they go on to say, friends and family were stunned by the lack of remorse from the gray-haired, balding former sports star. It's a good way to put it. As he left the Brisbane District Court for a smoke between breaks in his trial during the week. One of Gary's relatives, not his dad, I know, because he's dead, said, no, one of the other ones said, there is no remorse. He looks and smiles and shakes his head. Meaning Gary. It's when they're telling the details, he's like, yeah, right. Like,
what the fuck, man?
They said, but they also watched as his brother Jeff bowed his head as the prosecution summed up the shocking details of the case. They saw Jeff's wife, Rosina, in tears. Outside the court, Jeff, his brother, on approaching the victim's family, was apologetic, telling them, quote, I'm only here because he's my brother. Before leaving, he placed his hand on the shoulder of a woman and told her good luck. He's like, I know my brother's a piece of shit. I get it.
I believe you. I'm just here to show him that I know that he is still alive.
Jesus Christ. She says they described after one of the 5 separate incidents of molestation between 2003 and 2007 with the one girl. The girl was aged between 6 and 10. She recalled sobbing after Brabham rubbed his hand on her as she sat on a toy chest. A friend of the family told Gold Coast Bulletin he was what psychologists would call a groomer. He would set the scene up. He would groom the target into a false sense of safety. A fucking monster is what he is. An absolute. I'd rather somebody jumped out of an alley and went, ah! At least you know to be fucking scared.
Right.
This guy,
you know this is a real life monster.
To lure somebody in with the trust of, especially a child's trust, and like
years,
that's fucking disturbing and disgusting, and a really dangerously bad person.
Yeah.
So they said Brabham did not give any evidence at his trial. Relatives and friends see him facing his biggest challenge: to acknowledge the pain of his victims. So he is going to get some jail time here. Mm-hmm. He is sentenced to, here we go, you, sir, may fuck off 2 years and 3 months in prison with the suspended after 6 months. He's going to do 6 months.
Boy, you guys are lenient in Australia.
This is his second time fucking a kid or touching kids, molesting kids. I don't care what he's doing with them. Get him touching them in any way,
and
shape,
a
or form.
relative of his other victim. That's crazy.
Sisters. And the grooming and all of it. This is just 6 months.
That ought to fix it.
What the fuck are we doing, Australia? Hey.
Yeah, I thought
holy shit.
I thought you guys were vicious down there.
Is there a wallaby in charge? What's happening down there?
Did wildlife make this decision?
Yeah, and they must have. Another article from the next day says, the racing car driver who posed as a happily married family man while molesting young girls. That's the headline.
Oh, man.
Gary Brabham, the son of motor racing legend Sir Jack Brabham. This poor bastard.
If you miss that Gary Brabham part, Jesus Christ, this could be so bad for his legend. How
many people scanned it and was like, did you know Jack Brabham was fucking kids? Jesus Christ.
It's a bad guy.
And then moved on to another story.
I had no idea. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Led a double life where he appeared as a happily married man while secretly destroying the childhood of 2 young sisters. After he began a 6-month jail term last night, the mother of the children he abused spoke for the first time about the emotional and financial pain in almost a decade-long fight by her family to gain justice.
Yeah.
In 2009, Brabham pleaded guilty to charges of indecent dealing of a child under 12. His name was suppressed on being released from jail, but he always feared his crimes would be revealed and destroy his reputation in the motor racing royal family.
Right.
After a second court case, the 54-year-old last month was convicted of 1 count of rape and 1 count of indecent dealing of a child under 12, and yesterday was sentenced to 2 years and 3 months in prison to be suspended after 6 months. The girl's mother told the Bulletin, quote, the offenses against the children were hidden and secretive. He was living his double life, playing the happily married man, and then grooming my children.
God, Jesus.
Because it was suppressed then, he could get away with it. He was always concerned about the family name. It was always think of the family. And who knows how many other kids he fucking diddled.
Yeah, he came to America, for Christ's sake.
You telling me those are the only 2 children he was attracted to?
Way.
That ain't the way it works, man. He likes kids. This is fucking gross. Wow. Because it was suppressed, then he could get away with it. He was, oh my God. In sentencing, the judge said he had shown no remorse, and he said, quote, you have brought great shame upon yourself and your family.
Shame.
Your family name is very well known given your father's position in life. You know, you might as well have said 3-time racing champion Jack Brabham.
Sir Jack Brabham.
Yeah, you were in a position of trust, and you breached that trust in a most offensive way, in a most foul way. You, sir, may fuck off. Barely go to jail.
Yeah.
He says all that and then says 6 months. Are you fucking kidding me? The mother said also, this is the girls who were, abused, that mother, said by failing to show remorse, he put her daughter through hell during that trial. Mm-hmm. Asked about the length of the sentence, she said, it's not sufficient. I think it should have been more for the offense. There was no remorse whatsoever.
Yeah.
She said her family has suffered, he's caused her family to suffer a large financial and emotional loss. Sure. Quote, it's a 9-year ordeal. My daughters have had their innocence taken away from them. They can never get that back. I feel nothing toward him. I'm very glad that he's going to spend the first night of the next 6 months in jail where he belongs.
Good Lord.
September of 2016, he loses his appeal for...
He appeals it?
Oh, he appealed it. He's got some balls, dude. This guy does not give a fuck. Yeah, that's crazy. He appealed it, and they told him to get fucked. You got 6 months, you asshole. Go serve it. Yeah, you're be lucky. You know what? Here's another 10 years now. Fuck you. We're tired of your bullshit. So I feel terrible for those fucking girls, man.
Honest to Christ.
Those poor kids and the whole family, too, especially if you're the parents and you feel like you can't protect these girls. Because obviously...
You go through all of that, and the man gets almost no time. That's so brutal.
Well, and obviously the parents, if he was around them for 4 years and was in their rooms and he's driving them places, they were obviously trusting of him and put the kids in his possession. So as a parent, you'd feel awful.
Yep.
Because if you send your kid to school and the teacher diddles your kid, that's awful and everything. But you're like, well, I sent him to school. What was I supposed to do? Not send him to school?
Yeah.
Just keep him in a fucking cave in the basement so nobody touches him? Like, that would be one thing. But when it's somebody that you could have kept them away from, even though there was no reason to, as a parent, I would assume you'd feel guilty even though you have no reason to. Unless it was somebody that, obviously you shouldn't have had him around. But this isn't that person. This is a His father is a fucking lord for whatever the fuck. So,
sir.
I mean, yeah, you got to feel bad for the brothers here because they're disgraced.
Right.
Poor Jack's name's been dragged all through the mud on this. It's terrible.
Jack.
I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy.
Yeah.
But not nearly as bad as I feel.
Oh, God. Is there a
for
lot?
Gary Brabham, laborer at Ross & Associates in Utica, New York. He's like, luckily no one here has ever heard of this fucking
Lives
guy.
up there?
He went to LaGuardia Community College, which is that on runway C? Where the fuck is that?
Terminal B.
Outside the Delta Sky Club in Terminal B. Like, where the fuck are we talking about here?
LaGuardia Community.
But the best part, oh my God, he went to BOCES. Holy shit.
What is that?
BOCES is the school that they send you to when you get kicked out of school.
Oh, shit.
It's also like if it's an industrial thing. So if you're like really going to be a car mechanic or whatever, a trade, but it's also, that's where you're forced to go when you're kicked out of school before you're 16. I know a million kids who went to BOCES.
And the LaGuardia Community, James.
Yeah, and the LaGuardia Community College, got to have.
Poor bastard got his bag handler certificate there.
I got a degree from LaGuardia Community College. My fucking degree's no good here. Like,
it's a Frontier terminal.
It's a good terminal. That's not this fucking Spirit bullshit. It's in the United terminal, you fucking assholes. Get out of here. It's all right. It's not bad.
Poor fucking guy.
It's a regular airline. I know what I'm doing. This is ridiculous.
Shares a name with a terrible human being.
And he says a heavy equipment operator CDL driving school. So he has the word driving in there too. So if you look up Gary Brabham driving, it will come up with this guy because it's in his LinkedIn profile.
He's driven a 7.5-ton truck probably.
He definitely has. He absolutely has. And also Gary Brabham, consulting geologist.
Oh God.
In the greater Perth area. This poor bastard.
He's probably named after him.
That is horrible. Yeah. Oh, no, that's so bad. He went to Edith Cowan University, this guy, and his profile picture is him at the big giant wheel of a big boat.
Okay.
Like a big sailboat. Right. He's got the wheel. He's Captain Ron in it over here. And this poor bastard, everyone's just like, you scumbag.
What are you got a boat to lure kids, Gare?
You're a disgrace to your father's good name, Gary. He's like, that's not my father. Stop. I'm trying to drive this boat and tell you about rocks, you fucking assholes. And finally, Gary Brabham Jr.
Oh, what?
Who is also from Utica, so I'm assuming that is Gary Brabham's son. This poor bastard. He's like, fuck, both of us?
My dad went to fucking LaGuardia, for Christ's sake.
My dad went to LaGuardia over here. This is ridiculous. So it says Gary Brabham's net worth, and this obviously...
There's no way he has $20.
Just to show you how off these things are, says he has $1 to $5 million. Yeah,
There's
1 to 5.
No way.
No 1 to 5. No, he's not doing $1 to $5 million. There's no fucking way in the world here. So there you go. Have fun. Can't get enough of this scumbag piece of shit, kid fucking loser? Yeah. Well, you can get a Gary Brabham IMSA Nissan Auto Race black and white publicity photo, 5x7, not signed, unsigned, just a picture of him. Look at this fucking goofball, too. Look at him.
Oh, God, why do they always look like that?
He looks like a molesting art teacher or something, like a molesting science teacher. This is $28.
The balls.
Plus $9.70 in shipping, so you're going to spend almost $40.
It's not even his dad.
On just a picture of a
child molester.
Some guy's molesting offspring, of a good guy's molesting offspring. And then a Gary Brabham Australia Leighton House Racing March 89, whatever the fuck. It's a picture of him in a fucking single seat car. Okay. It's $565 Australian dollars plus $332 shipping from Australia. So we can get that.
Picture of a child molester. Should we get one?
It's not even him, which is great. Look at the picture.
It's just the car?
It's just the back of the car with him driving in it.
He might be in it. We don't know.
Very tip top of his helmet. Could be you. Could be me. Could be anybody.
It's a car that a child molester sat in.
There's a car. There's a child molester driving away. So that's Gary Brabham Jr. Now,
good God.
Hold on 1 second because we're not done yet.
What do you got?
We have to do an update on somebody.
Who's
off
that?
Of Gary Brabham. We have to do an update on one of the more tragic figures that we've ever had in crime and sports history. It's a guy that we feel terrible for because he's always the victim of things.
Yeah.
Delonte West.
Oh my God, it's so sad.
It's so sad. If you for a minute there, It
looked like it was going to be okay.
He was going, he was showing up at people's stuff, and people were like, oh, no, I think Delonte West is okay. And I remember going,
I don't think so.
Not so fast. He's very mentally ill, and unless he's
very drug addicted.
And very drug addicted, and those two things together are terrifying. And unless you're balancing those out somehow and doing all that, I don't know how it's going to be the end of bad times for him. And sadly enough, and honestly, this is just sad, this last week, actually.
Just arrested again.
He's arrested again. And look at it. Do you see his picture?
I don't want to look at it again.
Look,
God damn it.
Poor bastard. He looks
Why does
terrible.
he always have that sore right there? Is that a sore or is it a birthmark?
I think it's a birthmark that he picks at and it gets red.
It's got to be, right? Because it's always there.
Oh, he was arrested in Virginia on misdemeanor charges of violating the conditions of his release and resisting arrest.
Yeah, and he ran because he was on drugs again.
Yep, he's on drugs again. He's always getting the shit beaten out of him. It's just sad stuff. They say they spotted him about 1 a.m. in Groveton, Virginia.
James, he's Bubbles.
He's Bubbles. He looks like Bubbles now, too.
He does. And
he's enormous He's enormous Bubbles.
He gets just beat up all the time.
That would be like Bubbles' friend would be the white guy there as a Johnny Boy.
No, his Bubbles started getting beaten up by that same guy over and over.
That's true, over and over, and they were robbing him.
That's who he is now, yeah.
But he's just this giant guy, and it's terrible. It's really sad. So 1 a.m. in Groveton, Virginia, police saw him and sought to serve a warrant on him because they had a warrant for his arrest. He took off, and the officers found him unresponsive after losing sight of him during the chase. When they found him, he was out cold.
He took a bunch of drugs. They had to Narcan.
And then ran. Yeah. They said Narcan was used here, initially administered to West, and didn't have the desired effect, according to the statement. Then he was transported to a hospital, and the Narcan worked after being administered a second time. Because someone didn't do it right.
Or how much was he under? You know what I mean?
Wow. He was released from the hospital and transported to the detention center. And, he's bipolar. He's got a hardcore substance abuse problem. Yeah. He was treated at a Florida rehab in 2021 and ended up working at the facility after Mark Cuban helped him get his life. Remember, Mark Cuban said it's going to making it my thing to get Delonte West. I don't know what happened, but he ran away from the nest apparently because
evidently he quit helping.
He quit helping, or he took off. Cuban picked Delonte West up at a gas station in September 2020 after pictures circulated of him panhandling. So and it turns out Delonte. It's not over there. I mean, that poor guy.
But for Christ's sake.
Oh, I want him to get help because he's not hurting people. He's not a bad person.
He's just killing himself.
He went from fucking LeBron's mother to this. It's just a tragic
what's in
thing.
There?
What's going on, man? Who hurt you? Show us on the doll. Like, where did it happen? Because this is fucking horrible. I feel so bad for this guy. So sad. So anyway, there you go. There is Gary Brabham.
Yeah.
And son of 3-time Formula One champion Sir Jack Brabham, obviously. You can't say his name and not say that. It just comes right after it. Or say the Jack thing first and then say son.
Yeah, and then say his name.
Serial child molester.
Serial child molester.
That's a label you want a headline on. You serial child molester, Jimmie Whisman. How'd you like to have that on you?
No.
In print? No. Terrible. I don't want that.
His dad's a serial race winner.
Yeah,
he's a serial child molester.
Not the same. Not quite the same. I mean, he fucked the secretary of the dad, but that's fine. Yeah. At least she was like of working age.
Right.
At least out in the world and an adult. So anyway, there you go. There's that crazy story. If you like the show and if you like us and if you want to be a good pal here, you can do lots of stuff for us. First of all, you can head up to whatever app you're listening on. Should be right there in your hand. And click review and then give a 5-star review and say something nice about the show. Helps drive us up the charts. It really does. So thank you for doing that.
3 times. Sir Jack Brabham. Just say that.
Sir Jack Brabham, Sir Jack Brabham, Sir Jack Brabham. That's all we need to know. We'll crack up laughing. It'll be a great little inside joke. So thank you. That's fucking hilarious. Do that. Follow us on social media. We're at Crime and Sports on wherever the hell you have stuff there. So check that out and hang with us there. You definitely want to go to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your merch. Get all your good stuff there and tickets for live shows for Small Town Murder. You should also listen to our other 2 shows.
Yeah.
Small Town Murder, #1. If you haven't heard that, where the fuck have you been for the last 7 years? Our 500th episode just came out. Listen to it.
Yeah.
So check that out. And then also listen to Your Stupid Opinions because it's fucking hilarious. You want to listen to us try to figure out reviews of a menstrual cup? Because guess what? It fucking happened, and it's
fun. Yeah.
Really fun. So check that out right now also. Do that. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all the bonus materials. Right. Anybody $5 a month or above, you are going to get it all, baby. You're going to get hundreds of back episodes immediately upon subscribing, and after that you are going to get new ones every other week. One Crime in Sports, one Small Town Murder, and we can't help but give them all to you.
You get it all.
We give it to you all. That's it. You're getting it all. So this week is no different. What you're going to get this week for Crime in Sports, we are going to talk about something that has nothing to do with sports.
Right.
Last bonus was sports heavy. You know what I mean? It was all sports. This bonus, it's going to be one of the craziest things ever.
Yeah.
Industrial disasters. It's amazing. It's so crazy. The stories are so insane. And then for 4th of July, we're going to do something even better. We're going to do fireworks disasters and accidents, which is great. And Jimmy can tell us the story of his own. So that'll be terrific. We can't wait to do that. But this time industrial. Then for Small Town Murder this time, we are going to talk about the cannibal cop who I guess wasn't really a cannibal because he really didn't eat anybody, but he apparently had a very active imagination and possibly was planning on it. We'll talk about it and find out exactly what the fuck happened there. Patreon.com/crimeinsports. And, of course, you get a shout-out, which happens right about, hold on, let me check right now. Holy shit, Jimmy. Hit me with the names of the people who would never, ever, ever put the word serial child molester after our names. Hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producers are Cameron Kushwara. Cameron, thank you so much.
Nice pronunciation. Thank
you. Amber Lowndes, Jordan Bennett, of course, Nilu Robson, Johnny Nilu. It's
good to
terrific to see you again.
Yeah, awesome
she was
to
at
see
the
everybody.
San Francisco show, Diana Michalski, Raymond Rust. Yeah, that's right. They weren't they?
They were both. I was talking to them both at the same time at one point. I was like, look at this shit.
And also Tyler Ringer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Dawn Sherman. She says, cheers to the only two men who gave me 500 moments of pure bliss. I don't know what that means.
Salute, Shantani, 500 more. Let's do it.
She's a mother. She should have gotten way more than that.
Way more, I would hope. Shit.
We'll be back to Philly soon.
Fuck yeah, next year. Yeah. Next year we'll be back.
Other producers this week, Peyton Meadows, Abigail Gathard, Janice Hill, Whitney Green. Happy birthday, Whitney.
Happy birthday, Whitney.
Tenielle Headley Blake. I think that's it. Tenielle? Nice. I don't know. Colleen Frank. I can't pronounce shit. Tyler DeMarco. Starkweather Christina. I think it might be Christina Starkweather.
Charles Starkweather's daughter.
Okay.
No?
Joel with no last name. Broomstick, I think. Melon, it's BRMSTIK. That's broomstick.
That sounds like a license plate broomstick. Yeah.
Melin Wagner. Melon. Me Lynn. I don't know. Maybe it's Melon.
James, nice to meet you.
Also, someone named Lynn. Joy DiVincenzo, Kristen Chartier, Laura Buckle, Haley French, Margaret Nash, Samantha Vandekratz. Kayla B, John Boehner. It's probably not that one.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Maybe former Speaker of the House. I'm sure. Yeah. Hey, listen.
Tammy Garrison, Sarah Lupson Canova, Lupson Ninkova. All right, Lupus and Nikova.
Lupus? Don't put lupus in the poor person.
That's her name. It's Lopus.
Lopus. Yeah, there you go.
Lapus Ninkova.
She's like, now I'm lupus. Thanks a lot.
God damn it. Daniel Duffy, Jennifer Ross, Craig Holden, Jack, Lay, Larchevek, Jennifer, nope, that's Jessica, Alberti, Emmanuel. That's
Emmanuel.
Isn't that a poem? I don't know.
I don't know.
It may be a song too. Who knows? Bill Reed.
Sounds like an Eagles song.
Yeah,
Emmanuel.
It's probably a Christmas song.
It's a Don Henley for sure.
Stephanie Hankins, Andrea Krishka, Crystal Thart. Oh boy.
Oh, good. Crystal Fart. I like that.
Crystal Fart. There
we go.
That's an expensive fart.
It's a fart from a nice bottle of champagne.
Merritt with no last name, Jessica Rich, Randy Sherman, Carla Carla Mass, Lori with no last name, Erica Hawley, Stephanie Schillinger, Tatum LaPlante has two patrons. Thank you so much.
Thank
Tatum.
you.
Aiden McGraw, Cindy Finney, Carlos Romero, Pamela Cutter, Ida Fitch, Albert James Horn, Kristen Bray, Angel Faced Killer. Oh boy. Hillary with no last name, Rhonda Haskell, Scott Geisler, Patrick Spencer, Rebecca McIntosh, 16, because there was 15 others. River tugging Phil, James. He's tugging on the river.
He's filling it up. That takes a lot to fill a river from tugging. Let me tell you something.
He sings that old song, Rolling, Tugging. Jeff Davis, Just Christie, Olivia De Palma, Mark with no last name, Katie with no last name, Cappy Arnold, Ronan Lane, Hannah Brooke, Justine Charters, Paige Bassey, Kate Maloney, Mikkel Page. Maybe it's Mikkel. Oh, yeah, it's Mikkel. Trina Miller, Danielle Gibson, Polly with no last name, Tina Mulcahy, Kelly Reeves, Jenny. Hinojosa. Casey Breeze with no. That's her last name. Jonathan Darnell, Kim Bernard, Brandon Bruce, Annika Johnson, Renee Jamerson, Jane Pinkerton, David Gundino, Jordan with no last name, Sarah Hallberg, Grackenverb. I think that's what that says. Alex Powell, Isaac Larson, Lynn Oliver, Rachel Tao maybe, Michaela Zivich, Stetson with no last name, Nicholas Willman, Tracy with no last name, C and the letter G, CG, Jennifer Lawson, Heather Martin, Quinn Dawson, Carlton Powell, Heather C, Jeff Willis, Kaylee Panos, Maytine Stewart, Tabitha Colvin, Michelle Rollison, Daniel with no last name, DMIJ79, Terry Kennedy, Sarah Zinger,
Someone
Courtney.
Forgot to put their name.
It's just they mashed the keyboard and pressed enter. Sarah Zinger, Courtney Whitworth, Katie DeGrand probably, Jerica Marie, Christy Weed, Tanya Dobra Zadonsky, Amy Mason, Jason Pearson, Tammy Little, Doug Flash, Michael Gilliland. Good Christ, that's a tough one. Diane Warman, Lisa Danforth, Justine with no last name, Chris, not Christ. Chris Crow.
Yeah, we got the Speaker of the House, ex-Speaker of the House. We got fucking Christ, fucking Buddha's going to give us a couple bucks next month. You never know.
Nyla with no last name. Bomber 307, Greg Lindberg. The baby grew up. Tiffany Muzzy. Yikes. Muzzy? Golly. Commander and Queef. Oh, the commander. James.
Well. And the ex-Speaker of the House. Both? Wow. Now that is, we've really cracked a different stratosphere here. Classy people.
Charlie Kane, Honey Knit. Harry with no last name. Happy birthday, Julia Menk. C. Ryan Shields, Meyerlunk, Queen, Dakota Experiments, Transmedia Universe. I don't know what that is. Will Nelson, definitely not Willie, but certainly a Will named Nelson. Mo with no last name, probably the bartender. Sarah Talent, Sarah Kelly, Darren Wilson, Amy Pendergrass, Petergrass. No, that's an N. Beth Story. Beth Story, Ryan Marlott, Heather Sims, Bree Beach, Thomas Reiser, B with no last name, Reed Sadler, Brad Halsey, Joe Murphy, Ocho with no last name, Ruby Gonzalez, Tina Miranda, Jonathan Grover, Alex Kenny, Lexi with no last name, Jennifer Melky, C and B. What is this? Justin Hanley. J. Hildy 11, Dan Mott, BF, our best friend evidently, Dakota Savage, Nora Bird, Justine Newquist. Oh, it's a Q. Yeah. Nikki MF and Star. She's a star, James. Don't tell her she's not.
Motherfucking star, bitch. That's right.
Angie with no last name, Jim B, Mandy 100, DJ Jordan, Jeanette Nix, JC Jutai, Rebecca Morgan, Harrison Bequette, Brian Himmler. We're moving on. Joe Ayers.
That's a tough one. Elwood Blues. Heinrich's a bad idea.
Just change the last name. How fucking great could the last name be? That?
Yeah.
I mean, it's overshadowed. I don't think anybody's.
That is not good.
Yeah.
No. You can't. There's a few names from there, about 5 of them that you really don't want.
You can't do it. Joe Ayers, Elwood Blues, Desiree with no last name, Nancy Hamilton, Jeremiah Romero, Tony Tone, Punky Ween? Yeah. Miguel Hernandez and Blake Chancellor and all of our patrons. You guys, thank you so much
Thank you, everybody. You wonderful, fantastic, crazy sons of bitches. We love you with all of our hearts. Thank you for all you do for us, honestly. We can't fucking thank you enough, and we wish we could, but all we can do is put out more and more and more for you, and this is what we got.
Tell you thanks.
And tell you thanks. Other than that, we're trying our best here, and we promise not to molest your kids like this guy did.
That's my solemn vow.
Never. It'll never happen. Really.
It's not going to happen.
I'd never see your kids, and even if I did, I'd be like, get your kids away from me. I want to smoke weed, so I have no interest. Fuck out of here. I don't want the weed cloud going in their face. Get away from me. So thank you so much for all that you do for us. Thank you for hanging with us. Spread the word like you always have and always do. Sure. And, keep coming back and hanging out with us. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.